And boom, we're live. There you go.
How you doing, man?
Not bad. Today, this is Hagscast. It will be episode 7.
Phew.
Episode 7. I've got 10 episodes I'm planning on for season 1, and I'm on number 7 now with Mephistoe. Mephistoe, who are you? What's your name?
My real name is Shachar Cohen,
Shahra
which
Cohen.
yeah,
Nailed it,
Cohen
man!
is Cohen is easy. It's like
Yeah.
it's fucking Jew. But no, seriously. My name Shachar means dawn because I was born in the morning. Not really at dawn. I was born at around 9 a.m. But
In the morning.
my mother and my father really liked the name. It was really uncommon, but it's one of those names where 8 years later, you've got like a whole slew of kids who are named the same name. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if it happens a lot
Yeah, it's a popular name for
where
that
you.
year.
It's yeah, sort of a popular name for that particular year,
Yeah.
but it means dawn, Dawn.
All right, okay. Um, Side note, my mum's called Dawn.
But
Dawn.
Dawn, nice,
Yeah.
dude.
Um, Side note.
Do you want to what do you want to talk about?
Right, where are you from?
I'm from Israel, born and raised. Um,
Where you spent most of your
uh,
days?
I spend most of my days, weeks, months, and years in Israel. I actually, when I grew up, it's not that my mother and father were poor, but we weren't really middle class.
Right.
So I didn't get a chance to go abroad for a holiday or that sort of thing.
Okay.
And when I was age 10, my mother and father got divorced. So it it's lack of let's say free funds to do abroad stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the first time I went abroad was for Poland. It was for a trip to the camps. It was arranged via the high school I was in, and I was from the cinema department, or not cinema department, but I was studying movies and cinema when I was a kid in high school. So I was the guy with the camera nerd
Oh yeah.
who takes the camera to the trips, and I was supposed to be very comprehensive, but the teacher who sent me with the equipment gave me batteries that were very faulty. So I had
Ah.
to carry around one of those big cameras that you have on your shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
and I took it everywhere because I couldn't leave it in the room. I couldn't leave it in the bus because
Someone to steal it.
the bus driver, yeah, the bus driver was fucking drunk. I'm not kidding. I mean, the the Poles, when I the something I know about Polish people is when they're very Catholic, and when they go to Sunday mass, they pray for three things. One, health for the family. Two, thank you for God, in that particular order, by the way. And
Right.
three, please God, kick me away from my addiction to alcohol.
Wow. That's something different, like.
And in the past, actually, I went more times abroad after my kids were born than I was abroad before then. I
Right.
think.
Okay.
I think, which is weird.
Well.
Other than that, I kind of spend my time here living in this wild country where people looking from the outside in, it looks chaotic. But for most of the days, really, it's really not. Depending on where you live, and it's a really small country. And the main places where people live, it's quiet, it's boring, nothing really happens. We've got,
Well, I don't know,
you
like
know,
that picture you sent the other day with everyone on the streets. That
uh,
what was happening
it
then?
uh couldn't tell you. I
Was
don't
it
even listen to the news in the past couple
no?
of
Was it not like
years.
last Friday or something? Was it last Friday? Last weekend?
I couldn't tell you. Really.
There was a lot
It's
happening.
that's the thing is in this country, and I've learned about it in the last couple of years. If you disassociate yourself, if you just turn off the TV and not listening to the news, turn off the radio, don't listen to the news, uh pretty quiet.
The world becomes a smaller
Quiet.
place.
It is a small place, and you do get the news from somebody, either on the bus on the way to work
Yeah.
or somebody at work. He asks you, "Well, did you hear that and that and this?"
Nah.
So I know what's going on,
Yeah.
but I don't. I try not to actively, 8 o'clock. There's the news, so let's sit down for an hour and a half and listen to the same old boring, not boring, but
I
same
know.
old shit
Yeah.
over and over and over again.
My car was out of commission for a while there, and I got it back, and the battery had died. So the radio needs the code put back in, and I need to pull the radio out. The code will be on the top of it, but I've not done it yet. So it's been off for like 2 weeks, and I've been driving around for 2 weeks with no radio, and that's how I get my news on the way to work. And
Yeah, I get that.
I've not heard any news. And that tsunami in Asia, I I didn't hear about that till like yesterday. It happened.
I couldn't tell you. Really, I couldn't really tell you. You know what?
You're as
I
bad as
know
me.
there was a huge blizzard or hurricane or something in the east coast of America like 2 weeks ago, I think. Something
Right.
rather. 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
The only the only way I would have known about that is the fact that I listened to American podcasts from
Oh yeah.
various places. Joe Rogan, but not only him. I'm talking about wrestling podcasts,
Oh yeah.
and they someone mentioned in their chat because they do it live.
Hmm.
Somebody mentioned that, well, we're gonna hunker down and we're gonna ride the storm, and they said something about the storm coming in, and please, all our friends out there that listen to our podcast, please stay safe and stay calm and blah blah blah. So that's how I know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
It's not to diss anybody, but the fact of the matter is, not listening to the news, especially the news cycle in my country, it it lowered my blood pressure by 20 points.
wow. Oh my god. See, when I stopped watching the news, I did become a lot happy. I'm a happy guy anyway, but I don't now. I hate TV. I hate the whole thing about TV, and I hate the news. I hate everything. I listen to the radio in the morning. That is it. And other than that, that's the only. I get my news from YouTube.
Yeah, me too.
You know
Me
that
too. But
Philip
I'm very
DeFranco?
skeptic about certain sources I hear. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I'm skeptical about everything. Don't trust any news that you hear ever for anywhere. Take it with a pinch of salt. If you want to know more about it, then you go investigate and find out what the truth is. But
and to find out the truth, you need to be at the place where this thing happened and ask the people that were involved, and you'll
aye,
probably get 4 or 5 different versions of it.
well, that's what that Joe Rogan was talking about. Memory is different. We can both see the same thing, and we can both recall it differently.
Yeah, exactly.
It's memory's not exact. Everybody remembers differently. So yeah, and I'm shit at explaining stuff.
Yeah, you and me both. You and me both.
You
The thing is, it's like You know what? In the crazy, weird world of gaming where we live, I guess I'm just
Yeah.
in the crazy world that we live, that we gamers live. Um, I never had a problem, especially in an MMO like Warcraft that we both play. But in any other MMO I've played, and somebody asked me like a personal question, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
dude, where are you from? Or mate, where are you from? It's like, I'm from Israel. And most of the time, nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
It comes up, you know what? It's so weird that we went down this route, but yesterday we were in heroic progression, and my raid leader, he's a cool cat. He's from England, and I don't hold him against him. Uh, he was like, I was asking him something, and some other cat from Essex was like, all right, don't suck him off. And I said, it's not the matter of sucking off. It's just he can't get to me in 3,000 miles. His dick isn't long enough. I was like, and the raid leader said, well, I can get to Palestine easily. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess. I mean, it, what can you? Bants is Bants. Yeah. What
Oh,
can I
aye.
hold it against him? Can I hold him against? No, fuck it. You move on.
Yeah,
You
aye.
move on.
But that's the
Yeah.
thing with life. You've got to take things with a pinch of salt. You can't take everything literally. I mean, good example, right? Boy at work, he started working with us for a couple of weeks. It was his. I was working with his brother. So his brother was working with us for about 9 months, and we've got this little screwdriver, but on the end of it, it's got this welded on attachment. It goes onto a nut, an 8mm nut, so it's not that big, but it's not sharp. It's totally blunt. And this guy was bent over sweeping the floor with a dustpan and brush. So I jammed this thing down his butt crack. I had a builder's bump.
Oh my god.
Now, yeah, sexual harassment, totally. And he said to me, I've never clenched my butt cheeks so hard in my life.
But what did he say? Oh, you got me. You got me.
Oh, aye. But he did say to me, I'm going to remember that. I'm like, well, I bet you will.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's totally wrong. Shouldn't have done it, but I did it. And that's the sort of banter we have at work. But on the same side of that coin, imagine that was a woman.
You wouldn't do that to a woman.
No,
though.
I wouldn't have dared done that. I wouldn't have.
It's
just.
It's not about the sexual harassment. It's the fact that I know for a fact that the perception of reality is way, way different between a man and a woman. And I'm not being sexist about it. I'm being truthful. I mean, me and my wife are going to celebrate 20 years together this January.
Congratulations.
And I know for a fact that her perception of reality and what she sees with her own eyes is way different, and we're watching the same thing. Like it comes back around to what we said about the news, but if we are having a discussion or we're watching something on TV, and we generally agree about most things, which is a good thing, but I have my take on it, she has her take on it, and when you put it side by side, it was like, are you really agreeing on this? Because you're both watching something completely different.
Yeah.
Now, that is a minor test case, between a man and a woman who know each other for a very, very long time.
Yeah. Your views are different.
But if you think about it, it can apply to anything.
Aye.
So men and women do not share the same perspective about things. If a woman would have been in the room with you and that guy, and you would have done that thing to that guy, you would have laughed about it with that guy that woman,
She would have.
depending
Yeah.
depending on how her sensibilities are, could in some cases run off to HR and complain about you, even though the guy who was really hurting
Mm,
wasn't really going to complain.
yeah. Yeah. Totally. I, I,
Even
I never
even
thought about
if
it like
she
that.
knew you, even if she knew you.
Hmm. See, I've always had this discussion. I don't mind working. I don't give a fuck who I work with. I can work with men, women, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Um, on the farm, I've maybe seen one woman there, and that was a quality control woman. She came in to do an audit, and I seen her in passing. I've never, I don't work with women at the farm. I worked with women in the past. It's fine. They could do the same job as what the guys do. You know, there's no job. Well, there is jobs out there, but there's very
It comes
few
down.
jobs that women can't do. And when I say few, I mean like the British Army on the front line, infantry. Women are not allowed to join infantry. That's uh,
Really?
yeah, the frontline soldiers. Women are not allowed to join those regiments.
It's a bit different here. It's we have sort of segregated battalions, but we do have some integrated battalions
Right.
that are in the front line.
Hmm. Well,
I mean,
the whole
it's
theory
not
on
really
it.
a war here, but there are like border patrols, and border
Yeah.
patrols can deal with, I don't know, terrorist attacks or insurgents or all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, the point was that the mentality of the British Army is if say right we're running forward right there's 12 of us in a line there's three guys behind us controlling it we're all running forward doing an attack that we're attacking a village or whatever right um, the guy next to me goes down I keep going we all keep going the three guys at the back will then deal with the medic we deal with the injury or casualty or whatever it might be. The argument is if that was a woman, I would stop. I'd go back and help.
Yeah,
Rather than keep going.
I've heard this argument
I
before.
mean, yeah, it's the same argument everywhere. The, there's other arguments with endurance, and fitness and all that crap as well. There's hundreds of arguments to be made, but
It's not about even fitness. It's not about combat ready. It's about the human brain and the fact that men and women are hardwired to be different.
yeah, yeah,
It is ingrained in us so
on a
much,
biological level,
that um, I want to say, just think about it in this context, and I want to be clear.
mm,
Let me give you data that has nothing to do with anything. Again, me and my wife, because we are
perfect example.
way out there in terms of couples. My wife makes more money than me. I don't care about how. I mean, I enjoy the money, but she doesn't hold it against me, and I
I know
don't
where you're
hold it
going with
against
that.
her.
Yeah,
Wait, hold on. She is also doing a specialty work, which means she is an electrical engineer by scholar by her her BA or BAC or BSc in electrical engineer is a high end degree.
yeah,
Yeah, you get a really decent job around here. Um, she never hold it against me. She just wants to push me up. Why don't you go and study and maybe do something else or something like that? Again, her take on this is amazing because she said to me, I wouldn't want a woman in the front lines, not because we can't run as fast, not because we can't hold the line, not
Right.
because it's different when you hold the M16 trigger. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the fact that other men, other men are hardwired to help women. It's not gentlemanly, it's not chauvinistic, it's nothing. It is hardwired. We have been living in a world where the woman is free to do whatever she wants
Yeah.
ever since the 60s. That's 50, 60 years, okay? Almost 60 years.
Aye.
That's cool. That's excellent.
Brilliant.
That's awesome. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's awesome. You can do whatever I can do. Fine. I agree with that. Fine. But you forget we have, according to some people, about 1.5 million years of being a humanoid, 200,000 years of being human in this particular form, and you want to unhardwire 200,000 years in 60.
Yep. I see what you mean.
How much progress have we done in 100 years? How much progress have we done in 400 years?
Yeah.
I keep going back to there's a lot of movies that you don't actually think, something that was said in those movies really fit the movie, but if you take it out of context, it is so true to life. Do you know where I take this 100, 200, 400 years from?
What?
Men in Black. There's a section where he tells Will Smith, he takes him to that pawn shop to see which kind of weapon it was.
Yeah.
The first MIB, the first Men
Aye.
in Black,
But he shoots his head off.
where shoots his head off. Exactly. It's like, look at the thing, and then he sits with him at this stall somewhere, and he tells them, look, 400 years ago, everybody knew that the earth was flat. 200 years ago, everybody knew that something.
Oh yeah, I remember
And
that.
2 minutes ago, you thought that we were alone on the planet. Now, the alone on this, alone in this universe or something.
Yeah.
And you can take that sentence and tweak it just a little bit. And it's like, dude, 20 years ago, there was no internet. There was, generally speaking, there was
Yeah, I know.
internet, but who used it?
Epic nerds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
10 years ago, 14 years ago, yeah, no iPhone. No iPhone. Everybody had a cell phone. Everybody used texts. No iPhone. You had a BlackBerry, which is kind of.
Yeah.
Could you imagine things in 20 years?
Oh,
10 years. 10. Just 10. I'm not going all fucking we integrate with robots thing. No, forget about that. 10 years ago. 10 years from now.
Well, nobody knew.
Crazy.
Nobody could imagine up the internet. If you'd done
Exactly.
that 30 years ago, you're like, it's not really something that you could imagine up. It's not. It never existed. So in 10, 20 years again, there'll be something coming out that it's like, holy shit. And
Yeah,
it's like an integration of the technology that we have. So all the computers start coming, everybody's getting computers. Wait a minute, we can interconnect all these and make the internet. So it was a byproduct of all the computers that the internet was born. So again, a byproduct of other technology, you would imagine it'd make something similar.
But the thing is, the human mind is still hardwired to hunter-gatherer.
Aye.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We're changing it now, but we are experiencing, at least, just think about it. How old are you, Scott?
30.
30. I'm 39.
You know,
It's not that big of a difference,
no.
but I I'm considered the sort of the uh let's say Gen X. I'm still considered Gen X. Gen X is people who were born from 60 69 till 81 or 61 till 81,
Right.
because once we're adults, we shape the culture. That's how they measure it.
Right.
So
Okay. Got
once
you.
we become young adults, the young adults of 61 shaped the 90s. The young adults from 71 shaped the sort of 2000s, and people who are now in their 40s shape the culture now. Look at the big CEOs, all that stuff. Sort of 40s,
Yeah.
45s, you know. So the thing is, what I'm getting at is the fact that because technology moves so fast, because we're at a point where the people in the West, I'm not talking about the rest of the people, but people in the West, including a little bit of India and including a little bit of China, which is quite a lot,
Yeah.
but including those and Russia, which is, not really the Western world, but yeah, are totally connected because and being totally connected is like a social construct which is way too huge for you to comprehend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
But we're still hardwired to be hunter gatherers. It does not fit. It does not fit, and it will take time. It will take time to get used to things and to not think about, okay, that woman just dropped in front of me. My instinct, my hardwired instinct, stopped in taking care of her because that's how it was done. It was done for hundreds of thousands of years,
Yeah.
and you can't deny it. And yes, the mind needs change. The mind needs
Oh,
change.
aye, definitely.
The
But
perception needs
it's
to
not gonna.
change, but it will
It'll
take
take time.
time. It will take.
I mean, you think about the way we used to hunt. I mean, did we used to have claws? Did we, did we lose all that when our brain started developing? What's wrong with me, man?
Plug it.
Oh, you gotta plug it in.
It has 9%.
All right, okay, not a problem, with me, man. That's my boy. What I charge his iPad.
Yeah, it's a.
um, yeah. So as our brains got bigger, do you think maybe we lost the ability to hunt by force, but like physical force? Like dogs would hunt with their mouth, would bite something, take it down, whatever. We'd grab something and like strangle it or rip its head off or whatever. I don't know.
I. You know what? I have no idea if that instinct will ever go away, but in
There's
terms of
definitely
in terms of
there's definite
uh
primalism still there. I mean, you think about all
yeah,
the violence and that. You get people that they might have a couple of drinks and they'll get really violent. Is that the primal side coming through? You know
it
what I mean?
could be because
Is that
alcohol drops inhibitions, and
yeah?
if you go dropping inhibitions, then you move to the more primal brain. I was actually, you know what? I was
I think
actually
so.
watching a television show today.
Hi.
It was hey, on it was sort of a local nature channel, not really one of the big ones,
Yeah.
and it was a show from the BBC about taste and food, and one of the episodes was about alcohol, or a segment in the episode was about alcohol.
Right.
And there's sort of receptors in our brain that once you start drinking alcohol, get they say inflamed, or no, not inflamed, but desensitized, and that brings down your inhibition.
Right. Okay.
But the bigger brain gets shut down first, and then the smaller, all the big, there's like 3 sections or 4 sections,
Yeah.
And the least susceptible brain part is the primal brain. It has the
Ah.
least amount of those receptors, so it gets affected the last. And that's the point, the part of the brain where you have the breathing, heart rate regulation,
What's that
and
called again?
the fight or flight mechanism.
The basic instinct, the
Yes.
basic natural
The
stuff.
things,
I can't
yes,
name
the
it.
things that you don't think about.
Aye, that's it. Subconscious stuff.
Yes, not really subconscious,
Not even that.
because
It's just automatic, isn't it?
the part of the brain where it controls your basic functions, and fight or flight is a basic option, is a basic thing.
Yeah. But at the
It's so
same time,
weird,
right?
but yeah.
You think about it, the way the world goes. Let's just say there's some fucking weird disaster happens, right? And all technology's gone. Boom. We're back to basics. If we've spent thousands of years getting rid of all that, we're going to have no idea how to use it. We're going to have to re or de-evolve to be able to hunt. Does that make sense?
Not really. Not really. If you think about it, look at the big picture.
Yeah.
Wars haven't really stopped, but the rate of wars have gone down. You've got
Yeah.
more localized things, less nation against nation.
Mm.
Think about it. I mean, what did we have 200 years ago? Napoleon,
Oh, fuck.
right? Napoleon.
Yeah.
What did we have less than 100 years ago? World War One, World War Two. Yeah, nation
Well,
against
before
nation.
that, you had Africa, didn't you?
Okay, yeah, okay. That's the colonial section. That's
Right.
200 years, 150.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What did we have since World War Two?
Nothing on that scale.
Russia, Afghanistan, Vietnam,
Oh,
like
so
U.S.
aye,
Vietnam, the two Koreas, but it was, you can classify that as local. Again, Vietnam, kind of local.
That was the fuck. That Korea was the Americans, like.
Yes,
That
but
just wanted to get a
it didn't
foothold.
spill out. If you look at the battle zones, it didn't spill out.
Oh yeah.
Okay, after that, big stuff. Yeah. Falkland Isles,
Oh, the Falkland Islands, aye.
exactly. It's localized. Gulf War, localized. Second Gulf War, localized. Everything is localized. Every war, if we can call it a war.
Yeah.
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 The U.S. in Libya, Syria, the U.S. in Afghanistan. It's localized. It doesn't spill out.
No.
So the rate of war, the totality of war, has gone down, if we like it or not. Now, what is the balance to all this? What's the balance to all this? Technology, innovation, progress.
Yeah.
We have a ton of built-up energy to do stuff. Yeah.
So
The
rather
popularity,
than fight, we do
the
that.
popularity of MMA, the popularity of
Well,
for-
fighting
popularity
sports in
of-
general.
fighting sport.
Yeah.
I'm not looking only on the UFC, because there's Conor versus Khabib, or I should say Khabib,
Kalabib.
not Khabib.
Kalabib. I got that for Joey Diaz.
Yeah, I know. Not only the UFC, but Bellator, all the like the promotions that you never hear about,
Yeah,
but they're
yeah.
very, very, very. They draw people, not a lot, but they draw people.
Brings people together.
The rise of fighting sports, but also the innovation and technology of everything. once we have a built up energy to do stuff, either to destroy or build. So we build because we have nothing left to destroy. Because if we start destroying things, then we get destroyed as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's a nation versus a nation, then nations go, you know, the front line goes bashing into one another. That's nothing. But when nations try to take over other nations, where do they go? Fuel deposit,
Yeah. Yeah.
natural resource, destroy that. Farms, burn it. Yeah,
Oh yeah. Yeah. You make them rely on you if you're invading.
make the country submit
Yeah.
from the top by burning the bottom. Soldier versus soldier. It's like World War One.
Yeah.
But if you burn the fucking factory that makes the ammunition, and the soldier useless. So we invent technology. Now it's too precious. We don't go to war if our stuff is exposed. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You can think about it like that. It's just a thought, dude. It's not
Oh, I hear
what
you,
I'm
man.
saying is not the gospel, but I'm thinking about it in terms of if we stop wars, yeah, stop wars, where do all the pent up energy go?
And yeah, innovation, creation, and all that.
Innovation,
Yeah.
creation. Let's take the next step. Outer space.
That's the next thing. That. By the
Yeah.
way, see if we ever manage to make a space elevator, I can guarantee you, as soon as that fucking thing's built, every fucker will be going to space, because there'll be so many fucking rockets and spaceships getting made.
Yeah.
You know what a space
It will-
elevator is?
It will happen. And after we solve getting out of the Earth relatively in a safe way,
Well, that's
then
what I mean.
then we will start to solve long terms.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean
All
with a space elevator.
hibernation. Yeah, no, I mean hibernation, all that stuff.
Oh, like traveling sort of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. Yeah, I just see what you mean. Well, we don't
We
have the
want
tech.
to colonize other planets,
Yeah.
but we don't have the tech.
As it stands, we can't leave the solar system. Not within a relative.
Not right now.
Not if you want to have a decent fucking. No, you can't. Was it three light years is the closest star, I think. I can't even remember what it's called.
4
It's 4 light years.
Alpha Centauri.
Ah, right,
And we don't even know if we have a planet there to be on.
Yeah. And
I
if you-
mean,
yeah.
there's a one-way ticket and there's a one-way ticket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You need to be able to get there on the
And-
risk of a one-way trip.
It is a one-way trip, anyways.
Aye.
But
Aye.
because you don't have the energy to come back,
No. And that's a risk in itself. you
and
know,
if there's
it's-
no planet there, and it's a dual star system.
Is it?
Yeah, Alpha Centauri. They've proven that it's a dual star.
Oh, wow.
One is very old and one is very young. Apparently, I think, if I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken.
I'm going to look into that. I didn't know that. But yeah, 4 light
Pull it
years
up.
in itself. That's
Pull it up, Jamie.
That's how long? That's Jamie. Aye. That's I don't know. You're probably talking how many years?
I think,
will it take
if
to
I'm
get
not
there?
mistaken, one is on the bluish spectrum of light, and one is on the reddish spectrum of light.
Blue's-
so the reddish spectrum,
Blue's
the
bad, I
blue
think.
one is blue is the younger planet, and the red is the older planet. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not googling.
I
I'm
am.
looking. I'm looking at my Discord right now. That's it.
Alpha Centauri. Here we go. Star system closest to us, 4.37 light years.
Yeah, right about that one. 4 light years.
Spectral color. Color index UBBV, whatever that means. Oh, I think
Is that from Wikipedia?
Oh, you got Sagittarius A and Sagittarius B.
Yes.
What's the difference?
There's
Is
it's a
that-
dual star. It's a dual star.
Sun. All right, okay. This is going to take some investigating. I'll leave that for another day, I think.
Yeah,
To be looking through all that.
yeah.
We need somebody else like Jamie to do it for us. Aye. So you're probably talking an outrageous amount of years to get there. So
Yes.
it's not worth it at the moment.
We don't have the technology to do it right now.
No,
It's-
definitely not.
It's something that we'll have to solve, and sadly, it's one of those things where, in order to solve that, we need to solve, or either
There you go.
invent or solve,
100 years.
an energy source. An energy source which is stronger than what we have, and in
Aye.
order to do that, somebody needs to invest money on a new energy source, and that means letting go of fossil fuels. And at the
Well-
moment, nobody's gonna do that.
You see,
Nobody.
they've almost got. What's it called? Is it? Oh fuck! What's it called? What's that thing the sun does with the fusion thing?
Oh yeah, fusion engines.
Fusion.
It's still not. It's
They've nearly
still
got
not
it.
there.
They nearly got it. I think they got a reaction for like what was it, 0.001 seconds or some shit. But they managed it. But
If they can make a proper fusion engine, that might push us to light speed, maybe,
or close to,
or close to.
or at least be able to power some sort of warp drive.
I have no idea. There's so many theories. There's
Aye.
warp is like
We don't
you're
have
not really traveling in light speed. You're only traveling on a wave.
Aye. Aye.
And how to generate that wave, they don't know.
The problem is, I
So
don't think
many
they've got enough
Discovery
power to
Channel-
test this stuff. So,
I-
as you said, you need to be
You
able
need
to
the-
innovate a new power source. And once you're able to use that in a realistic way, you can start testing stuff that requires more
Exactly.
power.
Exactly.
Excuse me. Aye.
And you know what? I bet that someday someone is going to challenge convention, like everything in history got challenged, and somebody was going to say, well, I'm going to challenge Einstein, and I'm going to prove something that he said is unprovable, which means faster than light travel.
Yeah. But I think that's in the general. That's that equals MC squared, isn't it?
Yes. Generally speaking, the thing about Einstein is the fact that he said that after the if you pass the speed of light, then you can actually see yourself coming. It's like if you travel faster than the speed of light, then you go through a door into a room, and the light that casts your shadow will come, or not the light that casts shadow. I'm being stupid here.
You won't
the-
see what's in front of you.
You will see yourself coming through the door
Right. Okay.
at
got you.
at a slower speed.
Yeah, because you're catching up. The light's catching up with you.
The light is
Yeah.
catching up to your movement,
You
so
know,
it's impossible.
I was.
I'm not an expert. All I do is watch a lot of Discovery Channel
Yeah.
stuff. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Mm,
That lovely Asian guy that I never know his name. He's got a gray hair and he's really nice and he explains things really, really eloquently. And
Yeah,
I don't remember his name. I've seen so many shows with that guy.
I need to find that
But
guy.
yes, he has a. I don't remember what his name is. He's an Asian descent. He doesn't have any accent. He's complete American.
Right.
He's got even an American name, but
Okay.
I forgot his name. But yeah, he had a show where he's trying to explain what are the theories, and one of the theories about faster than light is the fact that, again, you can't really get it into your head how it works, but I'm betting someone somehow will explain how we can do it.
Aye.
Maybe.
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 I don't know. I don't know. Again, 400 years ago, the world was flat.
Yeah.
And now there's crazy people who still think it's fucking flat.
Oh, I think they're just after attention. They like
man.
arguing with people.
I don't know.
But what was I going to say?
The thing that ruined me is somebody said that Shaquille O'Neal, one of my favorite, if not my favorite NBA basketball player, thinks the world is flat. Somebody said that somewhere, and I was like, "No, please,
Don't
God,
do it.
no!"
Don't do it.
And I think he was either at his own show. He's got a basketball show in at the US. I don't really watch it, but I watch clips on it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I think he said it there. It's like people actually I think that the world is flat. And it was like he has a basketball and he turns it like he rotates it on his finger. It's like maybe this basketball is flat too. Something I've seen it somewhere. I can't find it anymore. Maybe the Illuminati took it away from YouTube.
Maybe. With their demonetization.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I was watching Athene, and he was talking about. You ever watch him? Live
I
streamer.
used to watch him a little bit. I
Yeah.
used to watch him. I actually, I never knew who Athene is, but when I got into streaming, I used Streamlabs. It's now something else.
Right.
It used to be called something else.
Okay.
And around that time, he started to have a beef with them for them taking his donations or them taking a cut of his donations, and it just appeared on my YouTube feed, and I started to watch him, and every single time he had something that made sense, but then he went off on something, and it seems so weird that the guy could be rational and then do irrational thing.
That's his.
You know what I'm saying?
He says he's got a character that like Ghosty's got a character, and that's what he portrays when he goes off in one. That's a theme. That's his character. Or so he says. I got fed up with it.
You know what?
But anyway,
he did no harm to me.
No.
So I don't wish him ill will.
My point in bringing
Let
him
him
up
enjoy
was
himself.
He spoke to a scientist about light speed, and he says, because I think at the time that new Star Trek film was coming out, the first new one, where Spock, you know what I'm with Spock?
Yeah, I know.
Aye,
with the red matter and
Aye.
Eric Benet as fucked up Romulan.
Yep. Well, he was talking to the scientist guy about it, and he says, if that spaceship, if you seen it disappear, what in front of you, what you would see is a long line of like a stretched out spaceship as the light started to disappear from you towards it, and then from the other side, that thing would be there before you could see it. and then all of a
Yes.
sudden you would see the spaceship coming towards you as the light catches up.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That's the whole thing. That's how they explain it in every single physics lesson that deals with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's also, you know what? There's also, have you ever heard of the Einstein-Rosen bridge?
I think I
In a
have.
movie, even in a movie, it's sort
No,
of
linking two
how
universes sort
it's
of thing.
sort of no, not two universes. It's sort of how the generally speaking, the theory is there are wormholes that connect certain spots in space that
Yeah.
moving through them breaks the law of speed of light, but generally speaking, you don't move at the speed of light in them. It just pushes you out to another opening
Yeah.
in space. Sort of. I'm probably butchering the whole theory,
No,
but
I get what you mean.
as as per se, if you can prove or find a spot like that, you can move faster than light.
Yeah. Well, I hear you.
Yep.
Um,
What else do you want to talk about, man? Because we've got plenty of time.
yeah, that went right down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
We didn't even get onto my first subject.
Really? What's the first subject?
What time do you wake up?
Oh, okay.
The question
I
is,
usually, yeah.
like your morning routine. See, what time do you start work at?
I start at 7 a.m.
Right.
So I have to get up at around 5, deal with the dog,
I didn't know
fix
you
my
had a dog.
shit, drink my coffee, or usually I just pack my coffee in a thermos and get my food out of the fridge. I usually prepare food in advance
I don't.
because I don't want to. I don't want to pay for food outside because it's just too costly
Yeah.
to eat every day outside. Um, and I go to work. In the last 6 months where my wife did not work, I had the car, so I drove to work. But we're back on the bus, baby. Back on the bus. It takes me about 40 minutes to get to work. It's not really far away. It takes me about 15, 20 minutes in a car. But you know, buses being buses, you know, public
Yeah,
transport.
stop them and starting, stop and starting.
Yeah, exactly. So it takes me about 40 minutes to get to work. I work at a university in Tel Aviv, main university in Tel Aviv.
Okay.
I work at the psych department, and I handle rats, like lab rats.
Okay.
I'm like the savior of the rats because I take care of the rats.
Right. Okay.
I'm not the one doing in the experiments, so I'm not the bad guy. Not that it matters to me so much, but I'm not the bad guy,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I deal with everything that it revolves around being humane and ethical with the animals. Because
Yeah.
we've got rats and we've got mice, but nothing else. There's no monkeys, there's no pigs, there's no rabbits, there's no ducks. We're not force feeding anybody. But yeah, I'm not the manager, and I don't really want to be. But it is a job. It has tenure. I did get tenure, so it's really hard to fire me. It
What's
pays me
tenure?
decent. Tenure is when you get accepted to a job, and in order to be fired, you need to do something really severe. So,
Gross
like
misconduct.
stealing from work,
Yeah.
being accused criminally about anything is something that is you can be fired for.
Aye.
Yeah, but generally speaking, it's a job for life.
Right. Okay.
A professor gets tenure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Your
so
job
professors
secure.
normally, it's job security for life
Right.
till pension, and then I get a pension.
Okay.
Not a large one, but a good one.
Yeah. Well, I
But
suppose in that
generally speaking,
sense.
the thing about my job is, and that's why I kind of don't want to leave, is the fact that I have an office and I have a PC at the office, and the PC is my old rig, so it's generally pretty good. Not the best, but it's
Yeah.
really good. Um, it sits on a good chunk of bandwidth as well. So we've got 100 down and 100 up
Wow.
connection, which you can get in this country even if you live in a normal apartment. But it really depends if they deployed like the fiber optics.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
living in a neighborhood where you have fiber optics, you can get 100 and 100 or 200 and 200, which is insane.
That is my computer. I've got an 8-core computer, and I bet you, if I tried to upload at like 4K, my computer would probably die.
You can't do it. No, it's not that your computer dies. The connection won't be stable enough
Yeah.
and large enough and wide enough.
The
for you to-
bandwidth
it's,
couldn't take
yeah,
it.
the
Yeah.
bandwidth can't take the amount of information, even though your computer can process it.
Yeah.
So, at my job, I have a set amount of work to do every single day. So I have it's revolves around cages. It's people don't like animals in cages. Fuck you. Go to the zoo. It's even if they're not if there's no bars, it's a cage. Okay,
Yeah.
spare me your stuff.
Ethics.
So the animals are in large enough cages. There are rules and regulations how much you can keep in a single cage.
Yeah.
And I'm the one that enforces that because I know what's best. And I have a veterinarian that says, you didn't do your best because this and this and that. So, that's on your record.
Yeah.
So I keep my stuff on the straight and narrow. So I have a set amount of work to do. I have, let's say, 300 cages to do today. And what does that mean? It means I go into a room or several rooms, clean the sawdust, make it nice and clean for the animals. They don't need to have. I'm not going to get into it, but I clean the amounts of cages. I make sure they have plenty of water. I
Yeah.
make sure they have plenty of food. Okay. Generally speaking, clean the room in terms of visuals, not because
Yeah.
the animals need it, but because the humans need it. A lot of sawdust makes a lot of dust, which is very, very,
Yeah. It's
very,
not
very
good for your
thin,
lungs, isn't
and
it?
it goes into your lungs, and that's not really good. So everything in the room needs to be clean for the students and for the professors who do their job and research the stuff that they research.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I make sure everything is clean. The amount of time I do that was about 6 hours, and it's an 8-hour job.
Mm.
Nowadays, it could take me, and it depends on how much I have for the day. It can take me between an hour and 4 hours.
Oh.
That means at the maximum, I've got 4 free hours at my job. And everyone who works with me knows that. Okay?
Huh. Okay.
So generally speaking, I have time to finish up my work. Everything is tip top, tippity top, yeah?
Yeah.
But I sit down and I play my video game. Or and I've been doing that more recently, go on YouTube and watch videos on how people edit their videos,
Okay.
how they make not really Photoshop, because I use a program called GIMP, which is basically free Photoshop.
All right.
How to make like decent enough thumbnails, how to make certain effects either in Premiere Pro or After Effects, which is like the Adobe
Yeah,
editing
I've used
software.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what fills my day. I have time to watch people on Twitch, either be it Mike or anybody else. Um, but it gives me the freedom to do the stuff I love.
Yeah.
And if something comes in, like if I need to get up and deal with a certain student who needs things from me, I put on pause, I go and do it. If I get killed, like I don't know, if I'm in a dungeon and I get killed, then I get killed. And probably the best thing that happens to me was the LFD system, which means I go in, and if something happens and I have to get up, then either I exit the dungeon, or for some reason I stay in the dungeon and wait for people to carry me through it. It never happens. The AFK system boots me out, or it
Right.
asks people to boot me out.
Okay.
But generally speaking, I have time to play my video games at work. Plus, I can stream from work, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've tuned into a few of them.
It's kind of hard to stream from work, but yeah. For the longest time, I didn't have a camera at work, and for the longest time, I didn't have a mic at work.
Yeah.
And I took my old camera there so people can see I'm actually live, not only on chat. And then
Yeah,
a person said, don't you have a microphone so we can hear you talk? I said, well, there is the microphone that is on the camera, but there's so many sounds coming in from the air conditioning system. Sorry.
That's fine.
The air conditioning system, and from people walking about because the office isn't really closed.
Yeah.
And they said, well, just pull it up and we can hear it. And I pulled it up. They said, it's fine, dude. I can hear you. It's not the best sound in the world, but
Yeah.
we can hear you. We don't hear any AC coming in. It's like, fine. I left it on.
See,
So
that's
now what?
the thing. Yeah, it depends how sensitive your mic is as well. There's a lot of. Can you? Can you hear
I
my
know.
computer?
No.
Well, I can hear it, so it's not
Yeah,
too bad.
well, you're there. It
Yeah.
all depends on how you set up your own microphone
Yeah.
and how sensitive it is to begin with. I mean, my home mic, the mic I'm using now is the mic I'm using for my regular streams.
Yeah.
Pretty powerful microphone, but it's a condenser microphone. The microphone that I have at work is a regular shitty ass like cell phone microphone.
Yeah. I hear you. Let's say. See, I quite enjoy streaming, and
I do too. I do too.
I'm not too bothered if people. It's good when people watch you because then you can talk to them and that, and it starts to flow a bit better. But when people don't watch, it can be a bit demoralising. But I like to try and push it. I just like to try and keep going, And you got to try and find a way of motivating yourself.
I do too. I do too. I mean, I get really frustrated when I finish a stream and my chat window is blank.
Yeah.
And I use Stream Elements instead of Stream Labs.
Yeah, I use
and I get an email with they break down your viewership.
that. Oh, yeah.
And it's like a big graph from the time you started till the time you finished, and how many people were here at like 225.
Yeah.
It's like it gets pretty demoralized if I see like one or two, and that means one. Generally speaking, that means one person was there, and it was he or she was lurking, and they did watch you, or maybe not watch you, just pulled it up on a tab
Yeah.
and went to do something else, and just did you a favor for being there, but they didn't talk, and it gets really demoralizing. It's like, why am I doing this? but still, you go out and you do it because you like it,
Aye.
and that's why people do it. And if you have your mindset, and if you have the mindset of, you know what, fuck it, I'm doing this for me. I'm out there. The computer's on. I play anyway. I'm sitting here anyway. It's just I've added a microphone and I've added a camera on me. I'm still playing. I'm still playing the game I want. But then you put in the elements of maybe making it look nice and presenting yourself, and
Looks a bit more
even if
professional.
nobody's there, you're still talking into the ether. You're talking into the microphone, and when you talk to an audience. Maybe they're not there, but you talk as if there's 1,000 people. It changes, and when people do catch your stream, maybe there's a better chance for them to stay.
Yeah, you're not just sitting there blank, waiting on people talking. I see what you mean. Just
I had
talk. Just go for it. Just talk about something. Talk about space. Talk about. It doesn't matter.
I had a sort of a revelation a few months ago. I was really disheartened, and I really thought, well, fuck it. I have a family, I have a job. I don't have a lot of free time to do what I like.
Yeah.
And when I do the things that I like, I usually have one monitor on YouTube and one monitor playing a game. I was like, it's so hard to get noticed. It's so hard to get noticed. And you're doing this basically to get noticed and to make people laugh. That's my mindset. Make people laugh. Make people not laugh. You know what?
Make them happy.
I'm not a comedian. Happy. Happy is the great word.
Yeah.
Happy to see you. Happy to hear you. Not even if the camera's not there. Happy to hear you.
Aye.
And I was like, what am I doing so wrong that people don't notice me? I mean, I know I can make them happy. Why aren't they tuning in?
Yeah.
And I was like, what am I doing that is so significantly terrible or different from other streamers? And I said, you know what? Fuck it. I go into other people's streams, and usually I see the same goddamn thing. And I said, and some of those people have one or two, and some of those people have 100 or 200 people. And they're basically doing the same, which means it's all about discoverability.
Yeah.
Fine. Let's go and watch the big streamers. I don't mean Dr. Disrespect.
No, I know what you mean.
Because he's a character. He's a character. Let's go to Lyric. What does Lyric do that other people don't do? Nothing much. He doesn't even have a fucking camera. Okay, let's go to a person that has loads of views and generally speaking has no drama about him. In terms of not chat, but in terms of the person, Asmongold. Everybody's saying Asmongold has a toxic chat, blah, blah, blah. They said the same thing about Soda Poppin'. Soda Poppin' is very controversial because his life was in a turmoil. Now it's not, depending on who you talk to.
Yeah.
Now it's not. But he had a time where everybody tuned in because the IRL stuff was what people wanted to see.
It was juicy news that people wanted to see.
The shitty stuff.
Yeah.
Go to Asmongold. Watch an Asmongold stream. He's not particularly funny. He's not funny. He's not particularly interesting. He doesn't have a weird face. He's got a regular face, you know.
Yeah.
He's not ugly. He's not good looking. He's somewhere in the middle, like most of us.
Yeah.
Well, not me. I'm gorgeous.
Oh, I know. I know.
But he doesn't do anything particularly. Now, I've went into Asmongold's streams when he had about 50,000 YouTube subs and just started streaming. He didn't have notifications on. He didn't have a donation bar. He didn't even have a sub. I watched Asmongold, at least on the VODs.
Yeah.
I remember watching him when he just started. He had 200, 300 people that knew him from the YouTube,
Yeah.
you know? And those are the people who told him you should stream. And I remember one of his streams, he was like getting donations every single second. He was like 10 seconds donation, 10 seconds donation. He was like, he didn't know what to say. He was stuck during the whole stream.
Yeah.
And I watched him about 2 months ago on his stream. He's barely changed. Barely.
Huh.
The only thing that's changed with him is the fact that there are notifications and he's not surprised when people are donating money. That's it.
Huh.
That's it. He does the same thing. He does a transmog competition. He does the transmog runs with people. He is strict about who's getting what loot and blah, 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 blah. Nothing particularly different. And if you go to those people who have, I don't know, 50 people in the stream, 10 people, he doesn't do anything that is over the top, crazy, whiteboard thought, anything like that.
Yeah.
You know? He doesn't. He sits in his fucking attic or basement or wherever he sits there, talks at a regular tone voice, doesn't have extra reactions, doesn't go flying off the shelf. He's not Dr. Disrespect. And he's not particularly he's not like Shroud. I get the appeal of Shroud. Shroud is a really good professional gamer.
Yeah.
So people tune in to see him kick people's asses. Shroud isn't really a particularly, over the top character. Have you seen Shroud?
Nah.
He's pretty relaxed. Have you seen Summit? Summit 1G.
Nah.
He's a bit of a character. But again, he's at the mindset where he's a pro gamer
Yeah.
from CSGO. Yeah. And he attracts a lot of younger crowd. Shroud as well. People who are like, oh, dude, look at that fucking headshot he did. Blah, 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 blah. That's, I would love that crowd as people who pay me money, but I wouldn't do what he does because it's not me.
Yeah.
You don't do something that is not you because it shows.
Oh, I see
shows.
what you mean, yeah.
So generally speaking, there is not one thing you can do to get noticed. All you do is
Just
be yourself.
Yeah. Be yourself.
Yes. And if you get discovered, good. And if you don't get discovered, be aware that being discovered is a lot of different elements, but one of them is getting a schedule and sticking to it.
Aye. Yeah.
That is a big problem for people who have families and jobs and a wife that doesn't understand
Aggro.
what the PC is all about.
Get wife aggro.
Yes.
Yeah. I know that too well.
Yes. It's not like Ninja, where he is an over-the-top character, but he's also a professional player, professional gamer. and he has a wife now.
Yeah.
But he was first a streamer, and his wife knows what that entailed.
Aye. Aye. She knew from the start what she was getting into.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. She knows that this is the job.
Yeah.
My wife knows me as the guy who worked not 24/7, but there was a time of my in my life where I worked 7 days a week.
Right.
Every day for a year and a half.
Wow.
She was in school. She had a job. It didn't put, it put better food on the table, but the lights were on because of me. The
Yeah.
rent, everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep. I got you. It's a different outlook. People. That's what people don't get. Sometimes you need to work harder to, provide. And you see
Yeah.
people. You see people that don't want jobs. So what are you doing? Go and get a job, or at least try and get a job.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, sometimes it's hard getting a job, but there is people that don't want to work. That's how the world ticks. You need a job.
But what I'm saying is, if we go back to the streaming thing, in order for you to have a chance to be discovered, you have to stick to a schedule.
Aye, sorry, aye.
And it is considerably hard for people with wife and kids to do that, because life is life.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, today I never picked them up, but I got away from work early today because the wife's away to England today, so I'm in the house on my own. So I had to be home for my son walking home from school. So I gets home, he comes in. I made some food for him and me, and then we sat and we played Fortnite until about 5:30. From 3 till about 5:30. It did my fucking nothing. Oh wow! We tried 50v50, which is fine. We played it. We done our thing, and then we done. Is it the workshop thing? It's called.
I'm not really versed in what Fortnite has or hasn't had.
Basically, it's just me and him on the map, and then we go somewhere. I keep saying to him, "I'm going to kill you." No, you're not, and he'll just run away. So we're trying, and it's quite infuriating because you're supposed to try and kill each other, or build a base and then try and kill each other or whatever. But he just wants to play on the map. He's not bothered about killing people, and it's quite
I get that.
Quite frustrating. It's hard trying to have patience. You've got to try and have time.
Maybe
with him.
Fortnite isn't for him.
No, he plays the game. He just doesn't want to kill each other. He just wants to build. It's to use it like Minecraft.
Like I said, people.
Yeah, people's are going with that.
Yeah, some people just like building. Why don't you get them? Not Minecraft, but
Oh, he's got Minecraft.
one of those survival games. Maybe not Conan Exiles per se, but a game where he builds. I mean, when I grew up, I had and I talked about it a little bit with Noble. I think it was like almost 2 hours of conversation.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, when I grew up in my teens, I had a decent PC, and my mother worked at a place where they sell music CDs.
Right.
But back then, if you wanted to get a PC game, you had three choices. You either go to a toy shop and get illegal discs.
Yeah.
Either go to not a gaming shop, but a PC tech shop, let's say, not a PC shop, but a tech shop.
Yeah.
Get the games there. Or you go to a bookstore that has a shelf with loads of music CDs, and at the bottom there's the PC game section. So the company that was filling those shelves, my mother worked at, and it was a big storage place, and they had
Ah.
a section of PC games. Now the thing is, they um, they were shrink wrapping their games, and they have a shrink wrap machine. But most
Okay.
of the games before they went out to stores were not shrink wrapped, and they came in a box where it's like a board game box where you just open it. You just open it,
Yeah.
and you have the disc, and you can install, and all you need to do to play the game is leave the disc in the drive. And I'm not talking about CDs here. I'm talking about discs,
Yeah.
floppy discs.
Yeah.
So I had a ton of games coming into my PC, because you can play the game, and when you're done with the game, you can just put it back in the box as long as the box isn't damaged. There was like a paper case where you put the floppy disk in,
Mm-hmm.
put it back in. You had a booklet coming in the same box. If that is intact, place it back in the box, and you can just return it, get it back to my mother, return it, and she would give me another game and play that game and all over again. Now, a few of those floppy disks, shh, don't tell anybody, but I knew how to copy. So I copied a few games. Some of them had a better protection, but some of them didn't. So I had a bunch of games that were illegally downloaded
Yeah.
into my home floppy disk. So I had a wee good time in my house.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with this.
I can't remember either.
Um,
Custom
what I'm-
games. My
what
son
I'm-
playing games and things like that.
yeah.
Minecraft. And older games.
Yeah, that's the point I wanted to make. Having known this, a lot of games that I loved playing were sim games, Sim City, Theme Hospital.
Right. Okay.
Well, Theme Hospital is later. It came out on a CD, but those type of games, the building games, the managing of your thing game,
Yeah.
that were more appealing to me. One of my favorite games ever is Railroad Tycoon. The original Sid Meier's Railroad Tycoon is one of the games where my mom brought it home and I fell in love with it. And it's one of those games where I couldn't really copy it, because you could copy it and you could play with the copies,
Yeah.
but in order to authenticate the login, you needed the original disc. And even if you copied the original disc, it really it never took.
Yeah. Then
The
didn't quite
copies
work.
were corrupted enough for it to not authenticate, so you couldn't really play.
Yeah.
So it was one of those games where I said to my mother, please don't return this. Could you buy it for me? And she said, yeah, because she got a discount.
All right.
So she didn't really pay for the game. They took it out of her salary, and she didn't pay full price because she didn't pay the VAT
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So she didn't pay full price.
And
Sure,
for the
she
sounds
didn't
of it,
mind.
You didn't get every game anyway. You only got. How many games did you actually get her to buy? To that point.
Two
Yeah. So
two games.
it's worthwhile then. It's not as if you're going, oh, I want this, I want this, I want to keep this, I want to
No,
keep this. I
no,
want to
it's not like
no.
it's not like a stream. I didn't have boxes stacked up high of games. I had a small plastic thing that had a lot of floppy disks in it, and
Yeah.
most of those games were copied. Um,
Or the little
and
floppy disk holders.
yeah,
Yeah, I remember them.
it's I used to have it for a very long time, and it was still at my mother's place. And in one of her moves, it was gone, and I was like, "Damn, I wanted to save that, but I don't really need it. I
No,
wanted to save it, but you know,
for nostalgia.
yep, yeah."
No.
So, going back even further to your son, maybe he's into building and managing games instead of Fortnite.
Maybe.
I was never into shooting games when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Never. It didn't. I didn't find the appeal in it.
Hmm.
Just it's a food for thought. You know,
Yeah.
when you think about, and I don't even know how we got there, but we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Food for thought. You have a table. The table is filled with food. All the food that is on the table you've never seen before, never tasted before, and don't know if it's good or not. In terms of coloring, it looks amazing. It's very colorful. Everything on the table is tip top,
Okay.
but it's food that you don't know. What do? You taste, yeah? A
Yeah. You
normal
try it.
person would
Yeah.
taste. Try this, try that, try this, try that. And eventually you're going to taste something that is so good, and you're going to say, "I want this. I'll have that, but in smaller portions and not every day."
Yeah.
This, however, that I've just put in my mouth is so good, I'm willing to eat that every single day. That's how games are.
Yeah.
I think you always
No, you're right.
find the
You're right.
genre of stuff that you like the most, but you can also play other things, and you do enjoy them,
Oh, you've got to have
but
a
you always
break
come
from the
back to
main
that
game.
other thing.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you a good example of that, right? I have a judgment system on games. Uh, if it lasts more than, if I play it when I come home from work today, and it lasts until I go to bed, it's an alright game. If I go back to it again tomorrow, it's a really good game. And then if I'm playing it the next day, I'm basically playing it for the next week, then it's brilliant. Because it's not that I get bored, it's just that I just can't be bothered with it. Like Wolfenstein, that's a brilliant example. I just dived into that. I was just playing that constantly. And I put it on, I started on Brutal, the hardest difficulty, I think it was Brutal. Anyway. And I just kept going and kept going and kept going. And it was brilliant because it was so hard, but it was good. And I don't think I completed it. I think my PC died and had to reinstall Windows, and then I lost interest. But yeah, it took a while, like, and it's
See, and
there's a few games.
that's a shooting game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right.
But then
Plus the story and all that stuff.
a game like Rhyme. Have you played that?
Rhyme?
Yeah.
Can't play that. I know the ending.
How did you know the ending? Did you watch Preach playing it?
Yep.
Ah.
I've seen the whole. You know what? I'm not big on. I'm not big on puzzle games.
Right. Okay.
Like Zelda and all that stuff. It's like mini puzzles. I wouldn't say a puzzles, but mini puzzles.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's. It's a particular mini puzzles because I like adventure games in the old style, like Monkey Island.
Oh yeah.
Love those games. I haven't played those in a while because they don't make any more of
No.
those games.
Nah, they
But I
didn't.
used to play a tons of those. One of those, those games that my mother got me was those adventure games.
Mm-hmm.
So So the mini puzzle games, which means you have to put this and this and do that, jump here, do this. So
Yeah.
like the new Zelda rhyme is like the same.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I hear you.
when he started to play, I was like, I don't care for those puzzle games. But I played something else. But he was in the background. I wasn't really watching. I was listening,
Right,
which
okay.
happens a lot because at my job I have only one monitor, so I can't really
Yeah, it's difficult to do both from
play.
one monitor.
So I mostly hear him, and sometimes I go back and forth and just watch.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know. At some point, it got me. I wanted to know the ending. I
Ah.
wanted to know what happens. And when did you finish the game?
Yeah, yeah, I completed it.
I finished the game.
Got the feels, man.
Destroyed me.
Oh, it got me like.
Destroyed me. I mean, I don't know how many people will listen to this podcast. I bet a lot. Don't say what the ending is.
No, 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 no. I wouldn't do that.
It,
And everybody that I've
the
told
thing
about the
is,
game, I've said, I've not told them what it is. I've told them what, it's a puzzle game. Blah 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 blah. It's got a weird story to it, but you get there in the end. But it's worth it.
yes, yes, it's worth it. But for
Yeah.
me, it was worth it one time. A
Yeah.
friend of mine, a streamer friend of mine, uh, started to play it, and I didn't have time to watch it. I
Mhm.
jumped in and out and in and out, and once he got to the places where the end where it rains,
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay in the stream for as long as I can, and see his reaction. I was like,
Yeah. Because you know it.
the
You know
reaction
what's going to
came,
happen. Yeah.
and he was like blown away because he kept theorizing what is the end game throughout the game, which
But it
most
fucks with you though.
it fucks
It
with you.
throws you off in a
It
different
fucks
direction.
with you. It fucks with you.
Yeah. In a good way.
Yeah, yeah, it fucks with you. But when it does, and when the credits roll in, it's like, you know what? It's a good thing nobody in the chat said anything.
Yeah.
And I told him this. I was like, I was so close to
Dude.
telling you this and that. That would ruin your fucking game. That would seriously
Yeah.
ruin your fucking
Yeah, it
game.
would. When I first seen it was on that Mate Swap when I seen Preach playing it. And it showed
Yeah,
you the,
but it didn't really spoil anything.
No, it didn't.
I've watched it,
and
and
then I seen his reaction at the start of the video and I'm like, why the fuck what? Why has he got the feels? And then I'm like, fuck it, I'm not even watching that. I went straight in, got the game, played right through it, and I'm like, right. And there's bits where you're like, nah, that's no real. Oh, yeah, fucker. Wow.
yes,
And
exactly.
It's like, holy shit. And then I went through and I watched the end of his stream and I was like, yep, he got it the same
Exactly.
bit. Totally worth it.
Even saying, I have something to say, and I wanted to say it in that my friend's stream as well. And I said, you know what, I'm not gonna say it, but there's something that you can say that won't spoil the ending, but when you describe it to the person after he finished the game, he was like, dude, I understand what you're going through.
Aye.
Because for each and every person, and again, I'm not going to go into it because it will spoil it. For each and every person, it's a different experience at the end.
Aye.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep. Yep.
Exactly. For each and every person,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
exactly.
I know
For each and every
exactly what you're saying.
person, it's a different experience at the end.
Yeah.
And throughout the game fucks with you no matter what's your background, no matter what's your stuff. Yeah?
Yeah.
It fucks with you like it fucks with anybody else. But at the end of the game, each person has a different experience with that particular ending.
Yeah. Yeah, I know where you're going with that.
That's it. That's the best way I can put it without spoiling anything. I can say that to a person who didn't play the game. Who's like, "What the fuck are you talking
Aye,
about?"
what the fuck? But then you know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly. Exactly. Let's move on because I'm gonna spoil that game. Yeah, Rhyme. I won't buy it because I know the ending. It's a game where you have to experience from start to finish.
Yes, yes.
In order to even comprehend the ending. So we'll leave it at that.
Aye, definitely. Totally worth buying.
Okay.
What's your go-to fast food?
Ooh. Wow.
Choices.
Nowadays, fast food. Like, if I break my my diet,
Yeah.
probably pizza.
Pizza.
Probably pizza. Yeah. If not pizza, there is there's a pastry thing that you can do in a variety of different fillings.
Like a croissant sort of thing.
It's sort of a like everything around here. It's sort of Greek, but it's also Turkish.
Right.
Because you know about the relationship between Greece and Turkey?
No.
Let me try this because you have to know the background.
Right.
Greece was a mini powerhouse of Europe. Yeah.
Yep.
Greek culture, Greek stuff. So when you talk about Greece, you're not only talking about the Greek islands, you're also talking about settlements in Turkey, not all of Turkey, but settlements in Turkey, settlements at the like North Africa. So Carthage was started as a Greek thing, not a
Right.
Roman thing.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Sicily and sort of Gibraltar.
Right.
Sort of.
Yeah.
There are certain areas where it had Greek influence,
Okay.
either because Greek culture or Alexander the Great, either from this or from that. Okay.
Yep.
So a lot of Greek dishes have the equivalent Turkish dishes.
Right.
Turkish coffee in Greece is coffee, but it's the same coffee.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
It's the same way of preparing it. It's the same way of making it. It's the same coffee. In Turkey, it's Turkish coffee. In Greece, Greece coffee.
Yeah.
Or coffee.
Yeah. I got you.
So in Greece, I don't know why, maybe because of Jewish immigrants that came from Greece, there is a pastry called bourekas. It even sounds Greek. It's basically phyllo pastry with stuff in it. Cheese, potatoes, mushrooms, spinach, whatever. So you can make that savory and you can also make that sweet with apple filling, custard, chocolate.
What
all
did
that.
you say it was called?
Bourekas. It's small pastry. Typically, it's either rectangular or triangular. I don't even know how you spell it.
Yeah, I'm spelling it totally wrong. Oh, hang on. 10 Israeli breads and pastries you need to know about.
Bourekas.
What the hell? B-O-U.
Bourekas.
Oh, yep. I've had them before. Well, maybe not exactly them, but I've had things like it that are similar shape.
In Turkey, the word is borek.
Right.
not bolekas. Bolek.
Yeah, I've had them with apple fillings and things like that.
It says it's prevalent in Turkey, Albania, Eastern Arabian, Armenian, Assyrian, Bulgarian, Greek,
Wow.
Israel, Italy, former Yugoslav nations, Romania, Crimea, Moldova. So that the area around the Black Sea, sort of.
Yeah.
It's basically puff pastry or phyllo pastry, which is
Yeah,
basically the
the
same
sweet,
thing. It's
the sweet pastry.
flaky
Aye.
pastry
Yeah.
with 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 filling. So uh my guilty pleasure is mostly Friday morning.
Yeah.
I go to a store real close, like a minute walk. Uh It's a pastry shop. They sell everything, including that,
Mm.
and they make it at 4 a.m. So when I come, I drop off my kids at schools when there's no, there's no vacation zone.
Yeah.
I drop my kids at schools at the kindergarten, go to that store, buy several savory ones, several sweet ones, and have my guilty pleasure with my morning coffee. I don't even drink coffee before I get those.
All right.
So that's not really my go-to, but that's my I can
Your
eat
guilty pleasure.
I can eat sugar and dough now because I've earned it.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. Let's say something else.
So that's if we're talking about when I go out and have a fast food, normally it's pizza because I go out with my kids. They don't really like hamburgers, and frankly, there aren't really good hamburger shops around here.
All right. Okay.
Uh, if you want a good hamburger, you have to go to a restaurant,
Ah.
really,
Okay.
like a meat place.
Yeah.
And when you go to a meat place, hamburger is like the lowest menu item, but it's if done correctly, it's really good.
Oh, you can get some nice burgers, like.
Yeah, you
Um,
could.
to be
A more
honest,
high. We'll call it a more high end burgers because the
yeah.
meat is better than McDonald's.
See, to be honest, I've had one decent burger in my life. If I'm thinking about it, we went to Spain, Mallorca. We went to Mallorca. No, Tenerife. We went to Tenerife on a family holiday, and we went to the Jack Daniels bar, and it was a Jack Daniels restaurant as well, and they had Jack Daniels sauce in the burgers and everything, and oh, it was good. Like, I loved it, but I like Jack Daniels, and that whole essence of it on the burger. I really enjoyed it, but other than that, yeah, you get your Burger Kings and everything. They're all right, but this didn't compare. Like,
Yeah, I don't. I try not to eat burgers, especially not McDonald's.
yeah, they're full of shit.
It's not good. It's not good. It's not even tasty.
No,
I
I like
don't I don't
McDonald's
mean it's not
chips.
good for you.
I like.
Yeah, McDonald's chips are good.
Yeah, I like them. What's what do you
Next question.
what
Go.
do you drink?
I like this.
What do you what is your hangover cure?
I don't really drink that much.
Right.
I don't really drink that much.
Okay.
I have an extensive bar, but I don't really drink that much. I have several really nice, good single malt whiskeys
I've
in
got a
my
good one.
collection.
I've got a good one that I won at a raffle, and it's gorgeous. I don't drink whiskey on its own. I usually
Really?
pick juice with it, but I tried it the other night there. Yesterday with Vanish, I had a glass it with some ice, and I was able to drink it. It was really nice. It's not like
The
Jack
thing-
Daniels where it gives you that punch in the face at the back of it. It was actually quite nice.
I did enjoy a lot of, but I have to drink with somebody. drinking alone is not fun.
No, it's not.
Not fun, especially hard liquor. It's not fun.
Yeah, it's
Not fun.
a
I
social
used to
thing.
drink with my dad.
Oh yeah.
I used to drink with my dad is like, because he can't really afford good whiskeys, and I do enjoy whiskey.
Yeah.
He's coming over to my place like, what are we drinking today? It used to be like that. Now, kind of complicated. Don't want to get into it because it's kind of complicated.
Oh,
It's
that's
not
fine, that's fine.
It's just boring.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy. It's like, oh, what are we drinking today? I said, today we have in our selection.
This and this.
Glen, what was it that I had was really good? Glen Moanji,
All right.
and I had my prized possession is my 18-year-old Macallan.
Okay.
So good. Macallan is my
Actually,
favorite,
give me a
my
sec.
favorite whiskey.
Oh no. Bloody dog. Damn that
What
dog
happened?
and her incontinence.
What? She shit in your house?
Yeah, my dog, she's like nearly dead. So,
Oh.
well, I say that
She goes everywhere she can.
anywhere she wants, really, wherever it happens.
Do you need to go and take care of it now, or?
No, it's just a pee. It's,
Oh.
it's newly dried, so it's happened a while ago.
I can wait. I can wait, and you can edit this later.
Oh, it's cool, man. Oh, it's not going anywhere. Everybody's away, so I just took my sock off. That's fine.
Okay.
It's fine, man. It's fine.
So, anyways, yeah, I've got a really nice selection, but nobody to drink it with, and if I do drink, normally it's not outside, it's in.
Right.
As for a hangover cures, beats me, dude. The only hangover I had was after I finished. I went to take a bartender's course because it was fun and the government paid for it.
All right.
Sort of, not really, but yeah. It was right after the army service.
Yeah.
So they give you a bunch of money if you go to do courses and learn, and one of the courses is doing a bartender's course. Now it's not illegal, but they don't give you money for it.
Right. Okay.
Because they want you to use the money for universities or colleges or all that stuff.
All right.
Like proper education, not shit for brain. But I kind of enjoyed learning about where does alcohol come from, how do you make it, all that
Yeah.
stuff. It's really interesting because it's sort of a process. And when we finished, I drank so much that on the way home, I was in not a taxi, but sort of a shuttle per
Right.
se.
Yeah.
And I had to get off and puke into somebody's backyard.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is. And wait for another shuttle to come in, same route. Got aboard that one. Finished at the time I was living with my wife, who was my girlfriend,
Yeah.
at her parents' house. Not house, but an apartment. And I got in there and she saw that I was totally wasted. And I was so wasted that she was like, go into the fucking shower, take a long ass shower, warm, long ass shower. And in the shower, I puked so hard that I shit myself. Literally literally runny diarrhea came out from my ass while I was fucking puking. My
Oh
body
man.
went into such convulsions that it's not like
Eject.
I didn't get up in the morning saying I'm not drinking anything ever. That's my wife said. She said that.
You are never drinking again.
Yes. And yeah, and I was like, dude, I didn't even feel, when you're drinking cocktails, it's so bad for you,
Oh
especially
yeah, mixing them.
fruity, nice, sugary cocktails. Those things will fuck you up,
Oh yeah.
like majorly fuck you up. Never ever do that. Never go for if you're going hard liquor. If you want to drink gin, drink the gin. If you want to drink tequila, drink tequila. Don't drink sweet tequila.
No.
For God's
No,
sake,
no.
you will drink so much. It will hit you like a ton of bricks.
I'll give you a good one. We were in Mexico. I went for a wedding, and there was a Michael Jackson dance competition on one of the days.
Oh yeah.
I won, obviously,
Oh yeah.
and I won. I think swim with the dolphins, which I had to give away because I was leaving the next day, and I won a bottle of tequila.
Yeah.
A litre and a half bottle. So I gets home. My mum and dad's having a housewarming party or something. I don't know, some sort of party. And I decide, this is like a Tuesday night. And everyone's getting drunk. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm drinking this tequila. What do you drink tequila with? Fresh orange. Okay, fuck it. Went and got 2 bottles of fresh orange. And I'm... the whole bottle.
Those
God.
tequila sunrises will fuck you up.
I tell you, I was fine. Because I don't smoke. I don't go outside. And it was
Yeah.
cold outside, so I wasn't going outside. And then I went outside at the end of the night to walk across the road to my house, which is less than 30 metres. And that was it. By the time I got to my front door, I was wasted. Woke up the next morning. I had to go over to my dad's house because I was getting a lift to work with him. And I had to go outside. I was spewing everywhere. And then I'm like, right, I'm good. He's like, go home. Because I was working with him, eh? He's like, go home, take the day off. I'm like, I'm fine. He's like, no, you're not. Go home.
All I remember
man.
from the day after, like the morning after,
Yeah.
first of all, thank God I didn't have a job back then. So I didn't have any place I didn't
Yeah.
have anywhere to go to. I think all I did was drink water. I didn't even drink coffee. I drank water, and I ate, I think, maybe bread or like a
Something to soak it up.
stale pastry, like not a day old croissant with like a regular croissant with just butter, but with
Yeah.
no butter in it. Just a regular one.
Yeah.
Just dough, basically. So that's what I think I remember. Just water and a little piece of dough, and I had a headache for 2 days. That's
Wow.
about it.
I had, well, I went to Afghanistan with the army. That was a shithole, just so you know.
Yeah.
I come back and had 6 weeks leave, and I was drinking every day. I wasn't drunk every day. I was drunk maybe every 3 or 4 days, but I was drinking constantly. 6 weeks straight. Goes back to
Jeez.
we started work. It was a late start on the Monday when we went back, so you could travel up in the morning to from where I stayed to Inverness. It was fine. So I got the train. I stopped drinking at 3 in the morning. 4 in the morning. Gets to work. I gets changed into my uniform. Goes to work at 12 o'clock or 12:30. Still drunk. And I didn't sober up until Wednesday afternoon.
Damn. Scottish Scottish
Oh,
Army represent.
mate, it was the balls, like. But I finally realised I was actually sober when I walked into the cookhouse, the restaurant, and the food. I smelt the food, and my stomach just squeezed itself. It felt like it just went, oi, 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 oi. Oh shit! Ran outside, spewed, started sweating, started shaking. I was like, what the
Oh
fuck?
my God.
It was a detox, eh?
Yeah.
My body was craving the alcohol. So I goes up to
It's
my room, spewing all the way up there, lies in my bed, and I was like that for a week. And about 2 days, I think it was about the Thursday or the Friday, I was like, I've got a couple of beers in the fridge, I'll just drink them. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. There's a problem here. I'm thinking beer's going to fix this. No, that's alcoholism.
yeah.
So I stayed off it. And I've never ever felt like that before in my life. My liver, wow, it must have rotted away.
I
The-
You know what? The last time I drank a significant amount of alcohol
yeah,
was PreachCon 2017.
I think everyone did.
And I think on the whole, in 3 days, maybe four, no, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, 3 days. I drank about 5 or 6 glasses, I think maybe 5 or 6 pints, basically. That's it.
Aye,
That's it.
wow.
That's not a lot. That's not a
No.
lot. Do you know who? You probably don't. Conovar. Have you ever heard that name?
Conover.
I think his name is Alex.
Maybe. I might have heard of him.
Eh, He's a really good guy. He's from the PG community.
Yeah.
And at some point on the Thursday, at the end of PreachCon, where everybody was like going out of the place, it was after 1 a.m. People were talking to Mike on the outside. People were talking to other people, and you remember
Yeah.
the and he was outside with like a pitcher, and I was like, dude, I've never seen you. I've seen you for the past 24 hours quite a bit. And every time I've seen you with either a pint or a pitcher, it was like, this is my 22nd pint.
Wow.
Like, dude, go to bed. Go to sleep. Like, nah, man, I'm having a good time. I'm just like, dude, you're wasted.
Legend. That was brilliant.
You're wasted.
You actually fucking Paul this year. Holy shit, he put it away. Fuck.
He put on weight.
No, he put it away.
Oh,
He
he
is
did
in-
it.
he drank a
He was
lot.
2017. I met Paul for the first time in 2017, and it was always coming or going. You know what I'm talking about? It was always going to the bar or coming from the bar. And the only time he sat down and had a conversation with us, it was one of the best conversations I've had with people that generally speaking don't know me. I mean,
Right.
know me but don't know me.
Yeah.
Was Friday evening. It was the day after PreachCon. I was flying home, and I had to get up at Saturday, like at 3 a.m, something.
Okay.
So it was a Friday evening. It was Dreed, Liam. You know who Dreed is?
Yep.
It was Liam. It was Paul. It was Siren Watcher,
Oh yeah.
and somebody else that I forget. I know the face. I forgot the name. We were all sitting there. We talked about everything. It's like a mini podcast.
Yeah.
About 2-3 hours. We all had beers. Not crazy, but we all had beers. Paul didn't initially was with us. Came and sat down with us. He came from the bar, sat down with us, and he didn't get up to refill the beer, which is weird because
Yeah.
throughout that weekend he kept drinking a lot. Had a decent conversation with everybody there, and nobody was drunk, nobody was slurring, nobody seemed hammered. It was nice,
Yeah,
social,
social
regular
alcoholism.
drinking. Yeah, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, in that sort of situation, I don't mind drinking. It's beer. It's not that much,
Yeah.
but a pint for me is a lot.
Right.
Is a
Okay.
lot.
See, I can't drink beer. It gives me a migraine. And I
Then
don't,
what do you drink?
whiskies, wine.
Oh, wine. Yeah,
Red wine.
wine.
I was drinking a bottle of red wine at 8 o'clock in the morning this year.
You're fucking.
I had a bottle of red wine for breakfast.
Oh.
I'm down the stairs outside. We're getting ready to go on this daft pub crawl at like 9 in the morning, and finished a bottle of red wine.
When was that? Thursday morning?
Yeah. I'm on the train, the tram with everybody else, and there was two teams, team one, team two. Too much people for one tram. I was in team two
Yeah.
with Spazzy, Julie.
I've seen the pictures. I remember
yeah.
the picture.
A bunch of other people, and I'm loud. I'm talking shite to whoever isn't wanting to listen. And Spazzy shouts over me, Haga, what? We're getting off at the next stop. And I'm like, and? Tell everybody.
Everybody.
I'm like, no, I'm just like, preach gone, next stop. Everybody heard me. And then that was it, everybody just piled off. And he asked me, because without me realising, I was being louder than everyone else there. And,
Yeah.
just brilliant. And I was pushed. Oh man, I was pushed at 8 o'clock in the morning. It was great.
I can't do that. I can't really do that. I don't like it. I don't like being completely off my game, off my head.
Yeah.
It's not fun for me. Even in like social drinking, fine, but I know my limits, and when I get a light buzz, that's where I'm coasting.
Yeah.
That light buzz
Just
is
stay in
enough
that
for me.
area.
Yeah, I can go harder without having a hangover, but I don't like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not. I worked at this restaurant when I started bartending. I worked at this restaurant, and not the head chef, but the people who were getting trained to be one of the main chefs.
Yeah.
There were two American guys that were working there, and they were like, we had loads of conversations because I can speak sort of fluently in English, and nobody there could talk to them, and even were at their sort of level. They like talking about baseball and football, American football.
Right. Okay.
And at the time, I was really into like football and baseball, and I knew all the different laws and all the different regulations and all
Yeah.
that stuff, and other people did not. So we had sort of a common ground, and because I was the bartender, of course, the conversation leans toward drinking. And one of those guys told me something that I really didn't really know because I was 22 and dumb. Dumb as
Young,
not
dumb, and full of cum.
young, dumb, and full of cum. And he was like, dude, there's two people in the world. It's like, philosophy.
Yeah.
Two people in the world, two drunks in the world. There's the raging mad drunk, and there's the sleepy happy drunk. It's like,
Right.
I told him, what's the difference? It's like, dude, I can't drink Said, why? It's like, I'm the raging drunk. I can I can drink and be fine, but you tap me on the shoulder, I turn around and I kick your ass for
Fucking
tapping me
hell.
on the shoulder. It's like, dude, that crazy? Said, dude, one of those days, if you work here enough, you're gonna come by in the morning, because I was a morning guy.
Yeah.
Come by in the morning, and you're gonna either not watch me, not see me here, or see me here with a fucking black eye. Because last night at 2 o'clock in the morning, I was fighting with some guy about something dumb, and he was fucking right. A month after that, he came into work and he has like a scrape under his eye, not a really like a black eye. Sorry, it's like, dude, is that what I think it is? And he was like, come closer. And he was next to my ear. He didn't whisper, and then his mouth came in closer to my nose really quickly. He came in sort of like, I'm gonna whisper something to you.
Yeah.
Turned his head. It was like, and breathed into my nose, and it was like, oh, you're fucking still drunk. So he was like, remember what I said to you? Like, dude, I know all about it. I don't have to be there. I've seen enough people having fights while drunk.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't even have to be there. So he said, look, there's the sleepy, happy drunk, which is good. And you will only know what kind you are after you'll be totally hammered. Like, you don't have to be drunk, but more than a light buzz starts to kicking your, letting go of your inhibitions. Once you let go of your initial inhibitions and go like crazy, then
Aye.
you'll know what kind of drunk you are. So I'm the happy sleepy one.
I'm
So
the,
I
I'm the
get,
happy one, like. I'm definitely the happy one.
you get a little bit more frisky, with your hands.
Yeah.
So if there's a woman near you, you do something that you're not normally doing and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't go for the boobs, but I go for the light caress on the shoulder type thing.
Yeah.
So I give them a chance to take my hand and throw it away.
Yeah. Beat it. I'm not interested.
Yeah, not going. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not a total creep, but yeah, I'm the touchy feely, happy, lovable drunk, but not raging, not mad, and drinking too much makes me very, very sleepy.
Fair enough.
And when I say too much, it could be a couple of beers, and it makes me sleepy.
All right. Okay.
So I can't really. I used to stream and drink a bottle of beer to start the stream,
Yeah.
and it's not good for me. So I don't do it. I try not to do it.
Fair enough. Huh. Well, you have social anxiety.
I used to.
You used to.
You know what? I can say, let's say this. I have a social disorder. Not like I'm a nerd, so I have anxiety about anything,
Hmm.
but social anxiety less so these days.
Right. Okay.
If you want to get into it, really, I don't really have close friends. Like, I don't have a best friend.
Right. Okay.
I have friends, and I have guy friends that are in a relationship, like couple friends. You know what couple
Aye.
friends?
Aye,
You're
aye.
married.
Yeah.
There's couple friends, and there's your best mate. I don't have a best mate.
Right.
I used to have one. But the powers that be drove him away from me. Not like we're not vibing.
Yeah.
If I meet him tomorrow, we have tons of mutual conversations, and we can pick up wherever we left off. But
Life's drifted apart.
No, he is one of those guys who have a difficulty with not separating. He has a difficult when he's in a relationship, he has troubles with boundaries. So he is not really being dominated by that particular woman, but he lets himself be dominated in terms of personality.
Right.
So if we used to go to the movies together, you know, I don't know if you have it or not, but some people have their best mate. We'll take Mike and Andy as an example.
Right.
They can go to a movie together and then a pub or maybe a restaurant and go and eat.
Yeah.
And two hetero life mates, let's say, like Kevin Smith used to put
Yeah.
it. Two mates, two mates. Everybody
Yeah,
has
just
that
to
mate.
have a banter and that,
Somebody.
yeah.
I don't. But that their best mate, where they can go to the movies and they appreciate the same things, and they maybe even differ about how good the movie was or not, but
Yeah.
they sort of have the same tastes. And me and him have the same taste.
Mm-hmm.
But when he is in a relationship, there's no world. There's just my girlfriend or my wife or my girlfriend or
Right.
whatever.
Absorbed
So
in
he
it.
shuts off.
Yeah.
He's just like he shuts off with friends. He did it throughout high school. He did it throughout when he was in the army, and he did it after the army, at least with me.
Yeah.
I know he did it with other people, so it's not really just me, but yeah.
It's not it's not a vendetta against you.
He's not doing it because out of spite. He's like,
Yeah.
there's a woman, I'm supposed to be with a woman and always with the woman, and there's no my world. There's just our world or her world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's a weird way to
and I
live.
haven't really found a friend here in Israel. I haven't really found a friend that I can talk to about movies, about geeky stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
In terms of it's supposed to be not supposed to be, but my age, my sort of experience, I haven't really found anyone to connect with. So I don't really have friends. All the friends I have are online.
Right. See, I'm
But as
much
for
the same.
anxiety talking to people, I can't find any. I tried.
Right. Okay. Well, that sort of brings me to my next subject, was the Edinburgh Fringe. That's, you know what that is?
I know about it.
Yeah, like a festival in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, good day out. I wouldn't overly say it's a place to come for a holiday for. Granted, if you came for a holiday just to go to the Edinburgh Fringe for your couple of weeks that you'd be here, you would never see the same thing twice. There's a lot going on.
It's the thing is the amount of funds I have for vacations is pretty limited.
Yeah. Well, I know.
And I have to consider the fact that I still have really young kids, and I'm not really. It's all about theater and maybe it's like maybe artsy movies. Maybe I don't know what's going on there. It's just
I don't know.
performance.
There's like street performers. There's comedians. There's certainly stuff for kids.
It's not really. It's
a
not
weird
really the things I go for. I wouldn't mind doing that someday, maybe, but it's not my wife's cup of tea.
Right, got you. So there's not much point in going unless you're both going to enjoy what's happening there. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
It's
what you
not
mean.
that, again, it's not that my whole world is my wife. I can enjoy other things that my wife doesn't
Don't
enjoy.
lie. That's
But
exactly what you're saying to me.
what?
No, I'm only kidding. No.
No, I can enjoy other things. I do have other things I enjoy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
PC and other things I do enjoy, but I don't have anybody to go with,
Yeah.
and I have to consider my wife. She doesn't mind. I can tell her, look, there's a mate from work. I want to go and to the pub with him tonight. And she was like, okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. No worries.
It's not as if you
I want to
can't
go
do
to a
anything,
movie with so and so. That's okay. Because I didn't want to see that movie anyways.
Yeah.
In some movies, I can take her,
Mm.
or she takes me.
Yeah. So what sort of hobbies have you got then?
I used to have a lot of things I was interested in, but I just don't have any time for anymore.
Yeah.
I used to really enjoy watching sports,
Oh yeah.
like all the sports. I love snooker.
snooker.
Yeah,
I,
like
if that's
like
on the TV, I'd watch it, but I won't go out my way to watch it.
exactly. I love watching boxing. I used to love watching boxing.
Hmm.
American football, Australian football, baseball, fucking curling.
Curling.
I used to, yes. You know what curling is?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
It's
On
the thing with
ice.
the stone.
Yeah.
Bowling to watch, not to play.
All right.
I used to watch a lot of sports.
Hmm.
Um,
So what put you
but
off it?
there's
Why
not
did
enough
you stop?
time. Not enough time. Other than that, I don't really have anything because I'm not really sport active. I used to love going to, shoot some basketball,
Yeah.
but that's something you need to do with a friend.
Aye.
That friend I had, we used to love going out and play one-on-one.
Ah, right. Okay. And that's all right. Fair enough. You ever been snorkeling or scuba diving or anything like that?
Snorkeling, yes.
Yeah.
My country is very small, but it's like a small cigarette. It's very thin and long.
Yeah.
And at the one end, it's very lush and green, and at the other end is a desert. Yes, sort of
Wow.
like Afghanistan. Half the
Right.
country is
Yeah.
sort of looks like Afghanistan.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah, I've seen it on the
desert,
map.
but not.
Yeah.
It's not really dunes, but more like mountains and very pale brown mountains,
Mm.
sort of that kind of a desert. So at the end, there is a little town called Eilat. It's a town that is on the Red Sea, and it's basically a big tourist town.
It's right
It's
next to
very
Cyprus.
very warm. It's very very warm. It's about 40 to 42 degrees at summer, Celsius,
Yeah.
of course. The town is basically a hotel town. Loads of hotels.
Oh.
And you go scuba diving there. There's a big coral reef there. There used to be. Now it's pretty small because of industrialization and all that
Yeah.
stuff. There's a big port there that damages that thing, but there's if
Ships
there's an
and that,
ocean, there's
yeah.
a port. So it's a place where you go scuba diving and you go snorkeling. So I used to snorkel there when I was a kid, when I was a teenager. I had a neighbor who had his parents were divorced as well, so we got connected through my mother.
Yeah.
And his dad was there working as a restaurant owner. So every summer we used to go down there for about a week, and my friend would go scuba diving and I would go snorkeling.
Ah, okay. See, I done my scuba diving in the army, so I got that all paid for. I got my paddy open water. And
Yeah, I didn't have enough money nor the desire to get into scuba diving,
all right, okay.
because it's not only getting your course done, it's getting your gear done, all that stuff, and
Yeah,
just the basic gear. You
yeah.
can rent most of the stuff, but your basic gear should be yours.
Aye, yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
that. But
The mask, the flippers,
yeah.
the maybe the weights if you have like type of body,
Oh yeah,
or the belt
I'm
where you
fat,
put
so I need a
the weight
lot of
in.
weight.
Yeah.
I need, what was it, like 12 kilos or something? I need.
Oh wow.
It's just
So
outrageous.
it's just like I said, you don't really have to have those things. You can rent
Yeah,
them, but
yeah.
every time you go, you have to pay for the instructor, and then you have to pay for the gear. So
Mm,
it becomes a money issue eventually. And again, it didn't really pulled me in. I'm not really a sea guy. I don't really enjoy the beach. Don't really enjoy the sea.
right, okay.
But every once in a while, free room and board, time away from the TV
Oh
at
yeah.
summertime. I again teenager.
Mm,
So, and free room and board, and once a day you can eat at a like a restaurant.
yeah,
Who says no to that?
yeah, exactly. Well, maybe a little idea if you want just go snorkeling in like a rock pool. I done it in Jamaica. There was a little rock pool at the beach at our hotel,
Yeah,
and it was actually sore to walk on. It wasn't a beach. It was like little tiny little stones, little pointy stones. To
yeah,
walk into the water, it was horrible. Anyway, I just walked in, had my snorkel and my mask, and I was just swimming around in this little rock pool, and there was like sea urchins in the water, and they were like little brown, like a little baby hedgehog. And
yeah.
you could
I know what sea urchins are.
I'd pick them up and it'd like little suckers would come out and stick onto my hand, so then I could let it
Yeah,
go and it would just stick. And
yeah,
I would go in with a plastic bottle of water, but there was no water in it. I stuffed it full of bread, and then you'd fill it with water, shake it up a little bit, and then squeeze it under the water, and all the little fish would come up, and they'd eat it in front of you.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So if you've ever out with your kids and you've got the opportunity to do something like that, oh, that's a dad win.
M- maybe when they grow older,
Oh, a little,
maybe.
yeah, a bit
It's
bigger.
a lot of things I have to wait for.
Yeah.
I'm at the point where my kid is starting to learn English at school.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty early because she's only in the second grade.
Hmm.
And I normally, well, when I was at school, we started English at the fourth grade.
Right.
And she has a good head start, not only because she starts to learn it early, but because both her parents, me and my wife, kind of speak fluent English.
Yeah.
So it's way easier to pick up on
Have you
on the
tried?
language.
Have you tried just speaking to her in English all the time?
I did. I do.
You do.
I do.
Right. Right. Okay.
But what I'm saying is, the thing is, I do want her to start to enjoy the geeky movies I grew up with,
Yeah.
because they fit. They like Back to the Future,
Oh yeah.
Star Wars, Star Trek, Indiana Jones, and more. Not only
Aye,
those,
aye.
but those are like the big examples.
Yeah.
And you kind of, to enjoy them, either need to read the translation or know the English.
Right. Aye.
And
Aye.
she still
Yeah.
doesn't read the translation as fast as you should.
Yeah,
She only,
I know what you mean.
but I like it. She goes to sleep and she reads her book. She has like various children books
Yeah,
because they're very easy to read.
yeah,
So
big words, small
she
sentences, and that.
practices and she told me I'm practicing because I wanna, read the subtitles
That's brilliant.
so I can watch the movies you wanted me to watch.
Yeah, and if she starts learning the, the words, she'll learn what they sound like. She'll learn how to speak them properly and everything like that as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the way to go, man.
Yeah. So in terms of if we go back and you ask me what my hobbies are,
Mm.
no time. My current hobby is making content,
Yeah,
and it's lately it's been hard. Uh, the have to you have to want it, and sometimes during the day I really want it, and then I get home, clear room, say to my wife, look, I have to sit down and do this and do that, and I come and she reluctantly says yes. I go to my computer and I get stuck playing a game for 2 hours and get tired and not do and fuck all,
yeah,
you know
yeah. Mm.
sort of. That's only lately.
Yeah,
I do have
it's a
things
routine thing as well.
in mind. What?
It's a routine thing as well. Once you got to like try and set a routine and then stick to that same like a schedule. You just got to stick to your schedule. Try and
Yeah.
yeah.
I do have
That's why I
sort of a
was.
routine, but again, I get to a place where I need to come up with things. I need to be creative, and sometimes when you force it, you come up with nothing, and you get discouraged, and then you fuck off.
Yeah, yeah. I hear you.
Yeah.
I mean that's like it was like the night I had two podcasts. I had Glenn at 6:30, and I had you just after 9 o'clock. So I was going to spend no time with my boy from 6:30 onwards. So
Yeah.
when he come home from school, go and get changed. I fed him. I played Fortnite for up until like 5:30, 6 o'clock or something. And it's time with him, you know. And then he's just done his own thing for the rest of the night. He entertains himself. So
When did you finish with Glenn?
that was about an hour. So about 7:30.
Wow. You know we've been talking for more than 2.5 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours 27 minutes.
Fine.
Oh,
I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
I'm not even.
I was just thinking about it. It's like I'm looking at the clock and it's almost 2 a.m. here. I don't mind. I
wow.
can go on it. Yeah, fine.
Oh, it's your weekend, isn't it? Was it
It's fine. Yeah,
Friday?
tomorrow I don't have to get up tomorrow.
Until the kids come in. I want food.
Fuck them.
Just make them a sandwich tonight. Put it on the counter.
No. There's something to eat in the fridge.
All right. Okay.
They have like a sweetened yogurt, sort of like Greek you would call it a Greek yogurt,
Right,
but I
okay.
call it yogurt. It's same style, but it's sweetened a little bit,
Yeah.
and they have like this oatmeal they like. It's
Okay.
not really cereal, like it's not cornflakes. It's actual oatmeal.
Yeah.
They just sprinkle it in so they'll have something crunchy,
Okay.
but it's really good for them.
Cool.
No,
You ever been arrested?
no,
Nah.
no. I've done a few things that
Questionable.
questionable. Yes,
We
I
had,
have stolen things from various jobs,
right. Okay.
but they all deserved it.
I bet they did. You got them told.
Every job I stole something from me first in terms of salary.
Right, okay. So
I had
they
a
fucked you
job.
over.
Yeah, I had a job, and I can safely say, and let's just say this: a quarter of my original liquor collection came from them because they were so dumb and they were so assholey, and they gave me a job and they said I have to do just one thing: pour the drink. And I ended up doing loads of different things.
Yeah.
And well, if you don't keep your liquor storage locked, you're asking for trouble.
Oh wow.
Plus, if you give your bartender not free range, but if you give your bartender, if you don't know what you have in your liquor storage,
It's not accounted for.
as in
yeah.
you got into it's like the boss man went into a liquor store, bought something, put it in the storage, and you don't know what he bought.
Yeah.
And then you give a 22-year-old man keys to the kingdom, and then say to him, if something is if a bottle is done, if it's over, just give me the name and I'll buy a new one. Don't do that.
Wow.
Don't do that.
Gee whiz, that is
Don't do
asking
that.
for trouble. Everybody at that age is an
that-
arsehole, though. I reckon
Exactly.
up to
Why?
about, what,
Why? Why do you
25,
trust a 20?
26?
Why do you trust it? Don't do that.
That's-
If you hear this podcast and you own an establishment and you give free reins to your 22-year-old bartender, or doesn't matter, if you give reins to a person and don't check up on him, you are asking for trouble.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't care about, no, I have cameras, I can, if he does something, blah blah blah. Yeah, if you don't check up on him, if something is missing, it's only missing because you know it's missing. If you don't know it's missing, you don't even check the tapes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, that place was, they stiffed me on money. So I was like, fuck them. Fuck them.
Fair enough. Sort of leads me to my next thing. When was the last time you had a nerd rage? You're like, fuck this, fuck every cunt, I'm logging off. Done.
Middle of vanilla.
Sorry?
Long time ago. Long time.
Right, okay.
I don't really rage. Break the fucking headphones, break the keyboard and leave. I don't really do that.
Boy,
I can get ragey about other things in life, and I can, bang on the table sometimes, but full on nerd rage, no.
Nah. There's a guy I work with, my assistant manager actually. He had an Xbox and he was playing FIFA, and for whatever reason he decided to rage. And this was a nerd rage, right? Because he broke his TV with a controller.
Oh.
A 32-inch TV. He had it set up in what is now is his daughter's bedroom, and he just threw it at the TV. Bang! Just cracked it. Done.
I would never do that.
Yeah, I've never went that far.
I would slap myself in the face before I do that.
That's some serious fucking nerd rage, like. Yeah. What was your military career like? What do you have a certain age you have to join, or?
No. it's when you get drafted because we have conscription and everybody gets drafted. Essentially, everybody gets drafted.
Right.
That's the law. It's women is 2 years and men it's 3.
Okay.
Uh, Generally speaking, there's always the outliers and all that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So when you hit 16, they give you like a summons, and they just want to test. They test your general health, and you do like sort of a mental test to determine your. It's not really an IQ test, but general intelligence.
We called it. We've got something like that. It's called a barb test. We called it, and it's like
I
John is smaller than Jim, who is shorter.
Yeah,
You know,
sort of
like
in the line
rewording
of those questions.
Yeah.
Sort of in the line of those questions. And then you have not really a psych test, but you speak to a professional person.
Yeah.
It's not really a psychiatrist. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's
Just to
sort of a
analyze
person
your
you
mental
talk
state.
you talk to, sort of an interview. They're saying, well, where do you think you want to go? Do you know where you want to go? And that's about it. Then they call you at 17, do another health checkup, and then you go and talk to another guy, like sort of an interview. You sort of skip the test
Yeah.
part. And that guy is more like, what you want to do is more like, this is your options. Choose now. And most people don't know. Most people, not everybody, most people don't know where they're going. And I
Right.
didn't. I knew I had, they class you in, they call it a profile.
Yeah.
Profile 97, profile 87. There's certain numbers, sort of degrees, and I was like the highest profile for some reason. I don't know why.
Mhm.
Like I didn't want to go to mobile infantry.
Right.
I said so as much. I don't want to do any combat. I don't. And the guy was like, "Too bad, bitch." Like not in so many words. Like,
Yeah.
too bad. You're qualified for doing combat, so you're going combat. Fuck it, dude. It's like, then put me, I don't know where. And when they drafted me, they said, well, you didn't give us any choices, but you said you didn't want to go mobile infantry, so we'll send you to combat engineering. And I was like, what's combat engineering? It's like, goodbye. They didn't say what it is. It's just, you'll know when you get there.
Yeah.
Basically, combat engineering is mobile infantry, but they deal with bombs and not bomb defusals, but bombs.
Right.
So I'm pretty good with my TNT.
Like plastic explosives and things like that.
Plastic explosives, mines,
All right.
and that sort of thing. Basically, anything to do with minefields is combat engineering.
Right. Okay. What I heard
I didn't have
Yeah.
a good time when I started, by the way.
all right.
I was like anti everything, and
Well-
I took an injury to my back at basic training. I was quite miserable for a few months, but I got away from it. I had to. My head was in the wrong place,
Yeah.
but I finished it. I finished my military service, and I'm still in the military if for some reason or not. Because when you finish your military service,
Yeah.
you move on to sort of
Reserve list.
reserve list. Yeah.
Yeah.
And every year you have to give a few days or a month, depending on the needs of the army.
Right.
So last year I had to go away for about 22 days. And this year I'm going away for 5.
Well, that's not too
And
bad.
it's supposed to be my last one because at 40 you're getting discharged.
Right. Ah, you've served your time, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair enough. At least it's done. That'll be it finished then.
Supposed to be. Yeah. I have 5 days that account for 2018. And then I have about 6 months because I was born in June.
Right.
So I sort of can have another time, like maybe 5 days. I won't see any 22 days, that's for sure.
Right, okay.
But maybe a 5-day training. It's like sort of a training week from Sunday to Thursday, and maybe. It
Can
really
you
depends.
can you volunteer to stay on the list for longer?
Yes,
Right.
you can stay basically until about 55.
Okay. Do you get a pension from doing that?
Not really a pension, but the more days you serve per year, you get like a yearly bonus. Let's say let's say last year I've done not 22 days. They summoned me for 22 and I did 19.
Right. Okay.
So there's various degrees, but generally speaking, from 11 days to 20, non including,
Yeah.
you get a certain amount of bonus to be paid the year after. So this year at 14th of May is our Independence Day.
Okay.
So at the 14th of May or the 13th of May, you get a bonus going straight to your bank account, depending on which days you've done
Yeah.
the previous year. So I got a bonus a hefty bonus this year, and next year, 2019, I'm not gonna get a bonus at all because I'm 5 days is basically nothing. I'll get
not
like
enough. Yeah.
an equivalent of about £100,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe less. I don't really remember. 5 days is nothing, basically.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Are you going to stay on it?
No,
No.
I'm done.
Served it. Done your time.
Yes, I'm totally done.
That's fair enough.
It really boils down to the past 6 or 7 years. They've summoned me, and I've asked not to be summoned because they don't really need me. And they say, well, we do need you. Please come. And when I do show up, I do nothing. I literally do nothing.
Yeah.
I
get you.
either move vehicles around.
Do shitty
They call it
tasks that-
training. They call it training. I
Yeah.
don't learn anything new. I don't learn anything that I didn't know in the past. It's just reciting rules and regulations again. I already know that. It's been too long, far too long for me. Nothing really changes. Safety measures change over the years. Not they don't give you enough to really. So they've
You can't
changed.
justify it.
Let's
sort
just
of
say there's a bomb. Okay. When you set off a bomb, there's a certain distance where you need to set it off properly when you train. Okay.
Yeah.
So it used to be, let's say, 100 yards. Just an example, not
Yep.
a true thing.
Yep.
So they've changed the 100 yards into 120 yards. Significant change? Fine, okay. I need to learn that. But are we training with live bombs? Oh, not this time. When are we training with live bombs? Maybe next time. Next time rolls around, are we training with bombs? Because we just have a crash course in like the new regulations
Yeah.
again this year again, and they were like, no, not this time, maybe next. You know what I'm saying?
Aye. Aye. I know what you're saying. It's a waste of time. You're not needed, and
The
they're still
last
drafting you in.
6 or 7 years, it's been a waste of time. And when they do call me for something significant, like last year was significant, um, I don't really, it's not really training, it's actual grunt work. So it's like either border patrol or like watchtower stuff.
Yeah.
It's like normal day to day keeping the peace thing.
It's got to be
They
soul
don't
destroying.
they don't give they don't give reserves too much to do, nothing really complicated.
Well, it sounds like you're. It sounds like they're just drafting you because they need the numbers to keep the budget. Obviously,
Not really.
No?
It's very complicated. Some of the peacekeeping is really needed because if you were not there, uh, the the Palestinian it really depends on where they put you, but if it's like a place where there's lots of Palestinians and all you need to do is keep the peace between the Palestinians and the settlers
yeah,
or something rather, if the army's not there, it could go bad for both sides, you know.
yeah.
And if it's border patrol with Egypt, it's basically nowadays because Egypt is kind of a sort of our friends. There's no, there's no war. There's no terrorism really. It's mostly illegal immigrants that are coming from Sudan or Ethiopia, traveling through Egypt to get to work in Israel,
All right.
which is crazy. Yeah, crazy. You don't hear about this thing in the news,
Nah,
not in the international news.
didn't hear
Uh,
that.
so the border patrol is mainly to keep illegal immigrants out.
Yeah,
And the border with Jordan, same thing. Mostly, drugs. Also with Egypt, it's drugs because, um, there's a lot of hash that is a problem. Not a problem, but
it's there.
mainly drugs.
Yeah,
And the border with Lebanon, it's really just keeping the peace and drugs. It's everything is drugs.
yeah.
And it pretends to be
That's
the war between the Arabs and the Jews, but a lot of it's like smuggling drugs, smuggling hash, smuggling tobacco, smuggling everything, really. It's not supposed to be, not really drugs. It could
Yeah.
be cigarettes, it could be everything, anything and everything, goods, everything, electronics, even.
yeah.
It
What-
could be electronics.
See if when you were doing your subscription thing, going into the military, did the drug test you?
Yeah.
What if you fail it when you're first signing up, or the first draft you in to do your training?
They don't test you in basic training. I think they test you after basic training, and it's random testing,
Yep.
mostly done when you are doing active duty, because you don't do active duty 12 months of the year. You have to rearrange battalions and stuff so people can go and do like a training
Right. Okay.
just to keep things, keep the war thing, the method of how you do war. Other than that, there's lots of peacekeeping,
Right. Okay. Okay.
lots of peacekeeping. So it gets really mundane. Watchtower stuff is really mundane. Patrols is really mundane. vehicle patrols. All of this pretty mundane. You know, you
Yeah.
don't do a lot on a day-to-day basis. There's not seriously. There's no bombs going off on a day-to-day basis.
Okay.
So when you're in a situation where it could get risky, there they test you. They do random tests.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
When you're in training, no. And as for hard drugs, not a lot of people, if they do hard drugs, you can tell. You don't need testing for that. And if it's either, let's just say, ecstasy and marijuana, which are kind of recreational drugs,
Yeah.
you do over the weekend, if you're home at weekends, or if you have like a 1 week shore leave, all that stuff is, you know, the temptation is there and people do it, but they roll the dice. And
So
it really depends on when they do test you, because it
what
goes
happens if you get
out your
caught?
system.
what if you get caught?
You sit in the brig for a month,
Will they jail
and
you?
then they decide if they discharge you from the army or not.
All right. Like if you've done some cannabis or something at the weekend.
I
Right.
had a
Okay.
friend
Now.
I had a friend who was caught with traces of marijuana.
Right.
He was in the brig for 20 days. Then they released him, not from the army. They let him go home for a week. Came back and they reassigned him. He was in combat, so they reassigned him for some sort of a desk job.
Keep them out of the way, sort of thing.
Yeah, just don't be in a position where you have you risk your fellow man.
Yeah.
Even though we both know marijuana's not really that kind of drug.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the problem with it. It's that all right. You should be doing it when you're working. I agree with that, but it's not a drug that's going to do that much harm.
You also trace amount. It could be I went on the weekend, smoked on a Friday, and on Sunday morning I was there, back on the watchtower,
Yeah.
doing nobody no harm, and I'm completely sober.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's mad. Like drugs. Obviously, drugs get a bad rep. Well, every drug does,
Yeah.
but the problem with it is, you know where apparently Joe Rogan was talking about where it originated for the marijuana initially. There was a guy who was making paper, and he heard about this fucking so-called cannabis plant that was getting people high and was good for making paper, and
Yeah.
or something like that.
William Randolph Hearst.
You
That's
know
his
your
name.
stuff then.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, there's
He made
the
up some
whole
bad
there's a lot of
rumours.
shenanigans about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of shenanigans about it.
it's terrible. It's
I don't want to go into it, but
Well, that's a
there's,
rabbit hole, like.
a lot of demonizing of certain drugs,
yes.
and
yes.
a lot of it I've learned through Joe Rogan and the people he hosts.
Yeah.
That's why I like listening to him, because
I
there's
love listening to
always
his stuff.
something. There's always something new, and sometimes I listen to it and I just quit because the person he's talking to just doesn't interest me.
Yeah. Well, he was speaking to two guys the other day. One was a vegan.
I
You know what I'm talking
know I started and I stopped.
I got about maybe a third of the way into it and then I stopped because I basically got the information that I needed at the start, and then the rest was just like nitpicking, and then it was like I was like, nah, that's it's gone too deep now. I don't understand it. I don't need to know anymore.
Yeah, he had a guy who was talking about sleep. Didn't interest me at all. I
Mm.
know it's one of those things where if I do listen to the whole thing and go down the rabbit hole, I might get new information from it.
Yeah.
Didn't interest me so much. And a few comedians he talked to. Sometimes I listen to the whole thing, but I forget because I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah.
So not every single one is like amazing, Joe Rogan, blah 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 blah.
No, 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 no.
No, it really depends on who he
It's
invites.
yeah.
Maybe he loves that particular person, but for me, not so much.
That's the thing. Yeah. Not everybody you're going to speak to is going to interest you. I mean, I guarantee
No,
there's going to be folk that I'll speak to and you'll speak to in your podcast that you might not necessarily be overly interested in what they're speaking about. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That,
yeah. I know what you mean, but
yeah.
ye- the thing is, sometimes you think you want to talk to that person because you've seen him in other things and he looks interesting, and once he sits in front of you, it's like, God, this guy is just boring or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can listen to every single thing he does, but I don't,
Yeah.
and I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. On that similar sort of note, do you ever listen to audiobooks?
I do. I love audiobooks. I haven't listened to one in ages because simply didn't find anything that interests me. The next books I'm going to listen to are the Witcher books, but they're very hard to come by.
All right, okay. Have you listened to that Illidan Stormrage?
No,
Oh,
no, it doesn't
that's
interest me. It doesn't interest me at the moment.
right. Okay. Well, I've listened to a lot of the Warcraft books, and I've read some of them as well. And right in like chronological order.
Yes,
So you got the Rise of the Horde. When
I'm
and
listening to
oh,
the three
it's good.
first ones with how the horde started,
Yeah,
how Gul'dan started, all that stuff.
yeah.
Uh,
It's interesting because it's not just the game. There's a whole story there, and it
that
makes you
that was
connect.
invented after TBC.
Aye, and
After TBC, it's amazing.
yeah, it helps you connect with the characters in the game. So it's really good. But what about the Traveller? Have you seen that?
Uh, don't think so.
It's Blizzard's new book.
Definitely haven't seen the latest one.
Well, there's one.
It's
There's two parts to it now. It's about a little boy, Aramar Thorn, I think he's called, and he goes on a ship with his dad, and they end up getting attacked by pirates. They end up in the Ferals where Dire Maul is, and they have to try and get through there. They bump into ogres. There's mudlocks about. There's fucking the pirates are still chasing them. It's really fucking interesting. They end up bumping into a druid, and he's teaming up with them. It's good. It's a really interesting story about this little boy, and there's two parts of the book. The first and the second book are out now, and they're out in an audio book as well. I'd give them a go. Like they're pretty interesting.
the the good thing about my job is the fact that when I'm in the rooms with the animals, I have to be quiet. So I
Ah,
can't really put on music in the earbuds because they can hear a high pitched sound
yep, yep,
to a certain point.
yeah. If you
So I can't really put
turn
on
it down
music.
low, you would.
I did in the past, but someone said, "Look, man, I'm going into the room and you're there, and I can see you working. And you do make noise when you clean the thing, but I can hear the music.
Right. Okay.
So either turn it down or stop."
Yeah.
So I switched to audiobooks, and it's amazing. So now it's either an audiobook or a podcast when I work.
Yeah.
I can't really be quiet. I have something has to be in my ears because it's really monotonous work.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm the same at work. I walk through a shed with chickens in it, and I actually need something to focus my mind, because
Yeah.
if I'm walking through a shed, I'll be rather than looking for like dead birds to pick up or whatever, or looking for injured birds, I'll be thinking about what I'm doing tonight, what I'm doing yesterday, what did I have for my dinner. I've got a sore foot, my back's itchy. Yeah, shit! I've just walked right round that shed and I've not picked up anything. There's like 10 dead birds that just walked past. So if I listen to something, it centres me and it helps me concentrate on what I'm doing. It's weird. It's distracting me.
Me too.
Stops your mind wandering. That's probably what I'm getting at.
Yes, because you're focused on either the person talking to you, telling you a story,
Yeah.
or focused on the two people who are having conversation.
Yep.
Because you're getting sort of a story, or some guy is telling a story to the other guy, so you're listening to the story.
Yeah.
Or a song that just, focuses you.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
It's all about the focus. It's drowning. If there's no focus, then there's too many people speaking in your head.
Yeah.
Sort of, not really, but sort
I
of.
know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just your thoughts. It's like,
your
what
own
am I
worst
doing
enemy.
tomorrow? What am I doing this? But I do get like the thing is, I do get inspired by certain things, or not really, either a person talking about certain subject, but that reminds me something else, and that reminds me something else, and that, starts to, develop a thought. And when I sit down and start to write that thought, it just pours out of me.
Yeah.
It's a spark of inspiration that somebody said a sentence, or somebody told a story, or somebody said something that sparks like an idea. But when I sit down and write the idea, it just floods out of me. So I take it as my inspiration.
Yeah. Thinking about inspiration and stuff. Paul Sandman Slim, he he's writing a book. And he's not had a lot of time recently to get onto it, but I've tried when I was on my podcast. I encouraged him to keep going. It's like anything. You're doing something and you finish something, be it a podcast, a YouTube video, writing a book, whatever. Once you finish it, there's an awesome sense of achievement because you've finished your thing, and it's great. I mean,
it's true.
Yeah,
true.
Definitely.
Especially if it's something that is takes a long time, takes a lot of investment. The payoff, in some aspect, is not the people who read my book, is the fact that I had a thought, I thought it through, I put it down so it will be preserved as a creation, and it's done from start to finish. It's done. It's there. I hope somebody reads it. I hope somebody watches it. I hope somebody comments on this, or even says, sometimes I finish a video and I get disheartened because I see 10 views.
Yeah.
And of course, I want 1 million views. Yeah, everybody wants that. Or everybody who makes videos wants the maximum amount of attention and the maximum amount of views. But don't mind the 10 views, but say something. Even say the video is shitty. Some of my first videos I got comments on were, dude, you're speaking too slow. And it's not like I didn't know. I knew I was speaking too slow,
Yeah.
but it took that person to tell me that for me to to speak faster.
Someone,
Try and speak faster on the next.
somebody else has recognised that you're doing it.
Yes,
I mean, you've.
but I already knew. I already knew.
Hmm.
And it wasn't changed until someone said something.
But see,
It
there's.
gave me the motivation
Yeah.
to change it.
Yeah. And I'm all up for critique. I love people criticising what I do because it forces improvement. I mean,
Even bad ones. Even bad ones.
yeah.
Literally, I can take everything. I look, people say don't look at the comment section. And it's partly true because people don't know how to critique.
No. No, definitely not.
And you don't know
And
whoever
there's-
critiqued you knows anything.
Yeah. And there's definite venom in there as well.
Yes, for sure.
Definite venom.
But if you I'm at the point where anything I say, anything that is said is sort of a critique. Even like, dude, you're shit and you don't know anything. Fine, okay. So you're saying to me that you think you know more than me, but you haven't done any video because I can see that your comment is coming from an account that does a lot of comments.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. That's your critique. Fine. Next. Like, don't get offended.
Yeah.
Why? Because a dude who doesn't know me said you're shit. And if he was in front of my face, he wouldn't dare say that.
Yeah.
Like,
Get a grip of
people are
yourself.
more civil face to face. You know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
So because I grew up at a time that I grew up in, because I know the internet from the start, basically, I know what's going on, and I've seen that mentality work time and time and time again. So I don't get offended.
Yeah.
I don't get offended by people telling me I'm shit in the fucking street.
That reminds me, actually.
Generally speaking.
Yeah. You can imagine yourself having a dual personality. You've got the way you act around your friends and family and things like that, and you've got the way you act in front of strangers. You're more polite. You're more courteous in a sense. You're not as maybe not as confrontational sort of thing, eh? Well,
Go on.
yeah. Well, what I'm trying to do now is, well, I say trying to do, I'm maybe about 70% of the way there. I'm blending the way I'd speak to you, the wife, whatever, my workmates and everything. I'm trying to act like that to everyone. And it's coming through, and it's coming through well. And I'm going up to the shop, and I'll talk to anybody. I'll go in, I'll wave at them. What's happening, peeps? You know, they're getting used to me. They like it. They're liking the forwardness of me being in your face, not, I'm not obnoxious, but, you know, just what you doing? What you doing with my pie? Just
Yeah.
winding them up, you know, just being daft, just being silly, just me being me, and it's coming. I'm 70% comfortable now with that coming through, and I'm just trying to push it that little bit further so I can be myself in front of strangers. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but it really depends on the culture because
Yeah,
around here, it's you can talk to basically anybody.
right,
Anybody. I have bus friends, not really friends, but bus people I know that I talk to
You see them on the bus
about
most days.
anything. About anything. Well, I've been at the same job for about 8 years now. So, and I take the same bus because, same bus goes
Yeah.
same place.
Yeah,
But the faces are changing. Not everybody was there from the first day, but generally speaking, I have, let's say, bus friends or bus people I talk to about even things in my life, even things in their life. And it's not really weird, but I don't know these people.
Yeah.
I don't know these people. They're strangers. I could talk to them. I don't go out of my way to talk to anybody I know, but when I do handle myself outside, um, it's sort of the same as I do in my house. I don't really share my hobbies because my hobby is something really alien to people. That's
Yeah,
why I
the
don't have
PC
that's why I don't
gaming.
have friends. A lot of people don't really get me. Even, there was a student who was giving us a hand at my job, and he's sort of a gamer. But when I talk to him about games, it's sort of, I know where the boundary is where he stops and I, like, in the middle. You know what I'm saying? But when I talk to people, I generally can talk to people about anything. I'm being polite the same way I'm being polite at home.
Yeah.
I'm being blunt with people when I'm being blunt at home.
Mm. Well, I hear you.
For good or for bad. I had a sort of a nasty comment that I didn't know about from the kindergarten teacher at my son's place, which was weird. She was like, she picked today of all days to tell me this. She was like, the first time me and the other teacher saw you when you came in, and it's even before we saw the kids. It's like 3 days before the start of the new year, a new place, a new, and the teachers round up all the parents or the parents who could make it
Yeah.
and do like a meet and greet. And she said, when we saw you the first time, from anybody in the room, you seem to be the person who were the gonna be the most troublesome parent. And I was like, me? How did I project that? Uh I was involved in the conversation. I was asking a lot of questions, and at the end, there's like a teacher and an assistant, and I
Yeah.
talked to the assistant today. And back then, I finished the conversation and I talked to the main teacher, and I told her, look, I have background in video editing. So if there's a parent who wants to take pictures throughout the year, or if you're taking pictures on your phone throughout the year and sending to the parents, because today you can take a picture on your phone and send it to all the parents, and they know what's going on with the kid that particular day. If they have a special ceremony they're
Yeah.
doing for the special Jewish holidays, maybe for the birthdays and stuff. It's like, I can take all the pictures from all the year and put them in like a video, and make a video for each parent, and they can access to YouTube. And she was like, okay, we'll do it for you. And I didn't pester her for the entire year. And at the end of the year, I came in and was like, do you want to do that thing I talked to you at the start of the year? And she was like, oh, we didn't save all those pictures. I said,
Wow.
fine. I offered. And so the assistant teacher, she said to me, well, we thought you were going to be such trouble. And it turns out you and your wife are like the best parents we ever had in this fucking school.
Talk about judging a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Fucking
It's
hell.
like, first of all, thank you for that comment. It's like,
Secondly,
you
fuck
don't
you.
even know how horrible it could get. You don't even know how horrible it can get. And I was like, I know how horrible it can get. I talk to those other parents.
Yeah. By the way, see when I go into the school, and especially the nursery, because you go into the classroom, um, I spoke as little as possible because I know every second word out of my mouth is fuck. So I speak quietly and I speak slowly because I know then I can control what's coming out. Because when I'd say up until what 2012. Nah, 2011. It was a year after I left the army. It was at that point that I finally knew or finally learnt what an internal monologue was. And it was bad. I'm telling you, things would come out that should never come out. You know, I says to a boy in the army, he was an arse. He was away getting fucking pushed at the weekends. He'd never see his kids and blah, 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 blah. And he was bragging about something. I was like, by the way, your kids need a new fucking dad.
Oh.
And then I'm like, shit, I shouldn't have said that. And
No.
that's what I mean. I had no internal monologue at all.
Yeah, it's sometimes referred as being tactless.
Yeah.
You don't have any tact.
Yeah.
I had that for a very long time. Oh my god. Oh my god. I used to be doing guard duty at a restaurant, and the waitresses hated me. Every time I spoke to a waitress, is like, oh my god.
Yeah.
It was so bad. It was so bad. But, you know, when you're 22, 23, 25, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's just who
I
you
don't,
are,
you know, when I see kids like that, kids, they're like 20, 15 years younger than me, people. It's like, dude, you don't even know when you get to like 30,
Oh, you'll know.
you'll fucking kick yourself.
Oh yeah.
Everybody, unless you're fucking stupid, dumb shit, and you keep being like that till you're 55 or something.
Yeah.
Because some people don't grow, but most people, like, it's like, dude, when I was 22, I was so fucking dumb. I was tactless. I didn't even think about what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now I'm more composed.
Well,
Yeah, loads of people like that. Loads, including myself. I was dumb shit when I was young.
yeah.
So dumb. So immature. So immature.
See, that's when I was in the army. I used to annoy the fuck out of everybody, partly due to what I just said to you, and just my whole demeanour. I didn't give a fuck about anything. You know what the army's like. They want discipline. You know, don't be speaking out of turn. I'd go up to officers. All right, I'd call them sir. You know, all right, sir. How you doing? How was your weekend? I got pushed, by the way. You know, I speak to them like I speak to a mate.
Yeah.
Some of the officers, one of them in general, his name was Major Jones, and he loved me because my name's Jones as well. You know, and I'd go up to him and I'd ask him this stuff, and he'd start blaring, and just start talking back and forth there. And every now and again, I'll just add in a sir, you know, just to keep it on that level. And it wasn't the first time one of the sergeants pulled me aside, stop speaking to the officers like that. I'm like, what has he complained about it, Sarge? No, but I'm telling you, stop it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right. And then I'd walk back into the office, and then the officer would start speaking to me again. Like, fuck it. What are they going to do? Charge me? And
It's you know what I've noticed, that in the Israeli army there is a divide between officers and
soldiers.
subordinates.
Yeah.
Yeah, soldiers.
We
But-
call them senior ranks and junior ranks.
Yes, but it's way less rigid. It's way less rigid in other armies I've seen, in certain, TV programs
Right.
about
Okay.
like documentaries and stuff.
Yeah.
Way less rigid in other armies, but for us it works.
All right. Okay.
For us it works. As long as you're not fresh and talking down to an officer, uh an officer and a soldier can be like mates,
Yeah. Yeah.
as long as they know that
There's a boundary.
there is a difference, there's a boundary.
Yeah.
And at times of war, or at times of when you get to do your, when you're on the job, the guy calling the shots is the officer. But if it's downtime, it's fair play, and they can even kid around on each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
But but a soldier can speak to an officer at at eye level, and not be old blah 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 sir.
Yeah.
Never ever sir, ever.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's. Well, anyway, we're talking about internal monologues there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I finally
Anything else?
finally figured that out. I think that's about it, mate. We've been at it for 3 hours and 20 minutes. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is the longest one I've done.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
That's
Come on, just think of a question, and we'll end with that.
right. Last question. Let's see.
What do you want to know?
How's your barbecue? Your little oven. Your little oven thing that you made.
Oh, it's done. I haven't even. You know what? I didn't even finish the vlogging thing. I'm gonna X that vlogging thing.
All right,
It's
okay.
just too much. But the pizza oven is working. It's working well. The only thing about it is I need to play with the heat sources to make the pizza bake properly, because it doesn't bake properly at the moment.
Right, okay.
The top is being cooked, but the bottom isn't. So you're getting basically a soggy pizza.
All right. Okay. Tried
So
like
it's
a
not
thinner
good.
base on it.
No, it's a thin base. It's always a thin base,
Right.
but because the heat isn't even, I need to play with the heat source. Maybe
Okay.
it's just playing with the heat source. But the thing is, it works
Nice.
amazingly. It's built out of concrete. The concrete has not cracked at all.
That's brilliant.
And
you did that all from YouTube videos.
yeah, me and my wife.
That's brilliant.
It's so good. It really is.
We have to do
And
that.
the kids love it. They don't even care it's soggy pizza. They don't care.
Kids usually don't, do they?
Yeah, they don't care. It's dough. It's cheese. They'll eat it.
By the way, try a pizza without the tomato base and just cheese. It's basically like grilled cheese on toast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's good.
We like it.
Yeah.
The kids like it too.
Brilliant. Okay. Thanks,
We're
Meffistoe.
done. 3 hours, 20, whatever.
23.
Awesome.
3:23. Hagscast episode 7. I don't have to edit this one. I've got some editing to do, and when I done my Vanish show you, boy, there's a few things in there that need to be edited out.
Really?
Oh, yeah. All right. You say bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody. Good night. Or good morning, wherever.
Yeah.
Whenever you're listening
Wherever
to
you
this.
are. Good day. There you go.
Good day. And Godspeed.
Yeah. Oh, that's a dog.
End on a bark.